Hello, y'all. Trump, 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 Kamala, Kamala, Kamala. Trump, 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 Kamala, Kamala. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden's laptop. Tax the rich. Trump's a baby back. You know what. What is up? What's up, Jody? How we doing, y'all? Hello, 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 hello. What's going on, guys? We are back. We are back. Happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day, y'all. Where is everyone? Hello, hello, hello. My microphone is killing me. What's up, China Doll? How are we doing, everybody? How was everybody's weekend? Hello, Claudia. Cheers, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon to Gracie. That's right. It's 12:13. I just woke up from a nap. I've been up for a while, but I took a nap. I am seemingly like always tired. I appreciate you, China Doll. Thank you. I'm letting my iPad update real quick while we get the stream started. Let's get some taps on the screen. Let's get some likes on the screen so we can get some debates in here. Twitch is working again. What's up, Dog Lover? I actually saw the Twitch chat come through the stuff. Gracie's 63 today? Happy birthday, Gracie. Nice glasses, thank you. I got these at DreamHack. I went to DreamHack this weekend. Yo, what's up, African? I went to DreamHack this weekend. Guys, look at these freaking sick glasses. They say DreamHack on the side. You always have the coolest stuff. Appreciate you. Let's see if we can get some people in here, man. We've got YouTube people ready to debate. I subscribed. Thank you so much. Today's my birthday. 8 years old. What? Have you guys seen the video of Trump yet? Being like, I don't know what's going on with Putin. He's just bombing everybody. We used to be cool, but he's bombing everybody. Dang, Trump, you don't think you got played, do you? You don't think you got played a little bit. Huh. Huh. Am I a skinwalker? What? Memorial Day post? Let's read it. Let's read it. Let's get Trump's Memorial Day post in here. In all caps. He attacks judges in all caps on Memorial Day. Let's see. Happy Memorial Day to all, including the scum that spent the last 4 years trying to destroy our country through warped radical left minds who allowed 21 million people to illegally enter. 21 million? Trump. Many of them being criminals, and the mental and insane through an open border that only an incompetent president would approve, all through judges who are on a mission to keep murderers, drug dealers, rapists, and gang members and release prisoners from all over the world in our country. country so they can rob murderers and rape, again, protected by these USA hating judges who suffer from an ideology that is sick and very dangerous for our country. Hopefully, the United States Supreme Court and other good, compassionate judges throughout the land will save us from the decisions of the monsters who want our country to go to hell. Oh my god. What is up with Trump today? Oh my god, dude. Please read it in all caps, dude. Donald Trump thinks caps lock is cruise control for mentally incredibly stable genius. Am I here to debate? I am here to debate, guys. If y'all are here to hate watch me and not debate, that's on you. But I'm waiting for somebody to get in the box. Yellow.
So this proves that Trump is looking out for us from that tweet alone.
Yeah, it's. I guess so. How do you say that?
Because promises made, promises kept.
Which promise did he keep?
No tax on tips.
How does this tweet prove that?
Well, Trump's not a liar. He always says what he has to do. Basically, he says it all. He does what he's going to do. And then a lot of y'all, honestly, y'all are just looking for trouble at this point because there's no reason to be looking for negative stuff about Trump. Like when that whole snatchy thing was coming out, that didn't happen. Y'all was wanting that to happen. You were looking for that. You were looking for every single nook and cranny to see and compare it to the history because I feel like it's like Stockholm syndrome. Like you want to experience that just to say, oh, this bad thing happened. Like, why would you purposely go against America? Like, we didn't do anything to you.
I think you guys are like on the exact opposite side of that, right? So like you guys look at some of the small things that he does for y'all and ignore all of the incredibly bad stuff. So like no tax on tips is tight, right? It's
Yeah.
$25,000 cash only, and then he's putting 10, 20, 30% tariffs on all the things you buy. So he's increasing your taxes when it comes down to it. No one really fucking paid taxes on tips in the first place, bro. What are
Yeah,
you
they did.
what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? You really think no tax on tips is what? Do you make tips?
No.
Okay. All right, but you're going to pay all those tariffs, right?
Well, firstly, they're delayed for another 45 days,
Now,
so I'm not paying them.
all of the 10% taxes are still up. And they're in and it's still 30-20. So, if we have a 30% tariff on China, they have a 20% tariff on us. Those are still active. The 90-day delay is the 145 or yeah, 145% tariff. That's what's delayed. So 30%, is that higher or lower than the taxes you think usually people pay on tips?
It's temporarily higher.
Hmm.
And
Do you
even
think the
so,
10
China also,
do you think the 10% tax on everything else that will be permanent, do you think that's ever going away?
no, because it's offsetted by the tax reductions.
Yeah. I got a
So
feeling
it
that the
balances out.
10% tariffs outweigh any tax reduction he's done for anybody, especially considering most of the people, even considering the tax, no tax on tips, even with that weighed in, we still see that his ultimate, like his everything when it boils down to it, the bottom lowest four classes of income brackets, they actually end up paying more in taxes, even with the reduction after tips and shit.
It's going to balance out in the end.
I highly doubt it, bro. I highly doubt it. You guys got duped.
No, we didn't. And even so, China also did a 90-day pause. So
You guys got duped, man. You can't be for real.
no, we didn't.
It's just gonna
Because
be
Trump's,
Trump doesn't even want you to see how much you're paying in tariffs. He called Amazon's plan to put it in a line item on checkout. He called it politically aggressive.
yeah, there's no reason for Jeff Bezos to go and do that and put the pre-tariff tax and all that. You didn't need to do all that. It's going
No,
against America.
going against America. You don't want to be able to see how much you're paying in tariffs.
Well, it's not going to be like that in the end. So I don't know why Jeff Bezos decided to authorize that in the first place. That was highly unnecessary and abusive, and really misleading
Abusive
towards
for
really
transparency?
misleading.
You guys
That's
hate
not
transparency?
transparency. That's not transparency because one, the tariffs aren't even applied yet.
They
Two,
are. They're up right now.
no, it's the other countries that are doing that.
No,
It's not us that's doing that.
20 and 30% tariffs are up right now, dude.
On Temu stuff, but everything else, no.
Try Amazon. I can't even find anything right now that's not made in China in front of me. This was made in China. This was made in China. My keyboard, my mouse, my headphones, my iPad, my Apple Pencil, my iPhone, my Go XLR. This microphone was made in China. My camera was made in China. Everything I own is made in China.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's luxury. You don't need that.
So we're gonna lower our
Yeah.
standard of living now.
It's not lower standard of living. It's cutting out things that aren't necessary. So you don't need
These are
no.
for my job. Of course I need this.
You don't need no $1,000 microphone. You don't need no Apple Pencils. Use your finger. Hell, even Google Pixel comes with stylus, so you don't need no Apple Pencil.
Bro, you're making a lot of mouth noises. Please.
What I'm saying is that you're buying luxury goods. Like, which one's more important, the necessity or the luxury?
So you admit that I'm gonna have to downgrade my lifestyle for Trump?
How is having a $6,000 microphone downgrade?
You want me to have a shittier microphone? You want me to downgrade, right?
It's not downgrading. It's just using what's good enough.
What's good enough? Got it. And Trump shits on a golden toilet.
No, he doesn't. That's also propaganda.
I think he literally does have a golden toilet.
I'm not commenting on that, but what I'm saying is that you're buying luxury goods when you don't need it.
Who are you to say when I like you're sitting here telling me I'm gonna downgrade from luxury to whatever's necessary? That's the new lifestyle we're gonna have?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you think people are gonna remember that next time we vote for president?
Honestly, yes. Who was more luxury, Kamala or Trump? Which one was more of a necessity?
Kamala was going to reduce taxes on the middle class and the lower class. Trump is reducing them a little bit and then increasing them like this much in tariffs.
They're being offset.
Yeah, right.
And then even with Kamala, she if anything, she was the luxury item. We didn't need her because she was going on SNL, making fun of the presidency when we trying to bring America that we are in like trillions of dollars of debts because of her and what Biden did with the whole
Trump is the one who spent $8.3 trillion the last time he was in office. Kamala spent 2.2.
doesn't count the offshore accounts.
The offshore accounts? What are you talking about?
The US has offshore accounts.
What are you talking about, bro? Trump has been on SNL multiple times.
When he goes on SNL, it's for promoting the presidency. When Kamala did was her saying that she was Brad and she was going up with Charlie XCS, going on live and performances and stuff. Trump never had no performance. Trump is not a singer.
What are you talking about? You're auditing the president's appearances on SNL?
Do you think that going on SNL should be your ploy to get president?
No. What do you mean?
So
I
then
think
why
it
does
was
she
fine.
do it?
It's publicity. Do you think this is what you should do as president? All caps, calling half of the country radical left minds, the people that destroyed the country, calling us the enemy within and shit. All caps with typos. You read
I
this,
mean,
right? You read
yeah,
this?
I read. I follow him on. I
Telling
saw
us
it
to
this
go to
morning.
hell? You really think that's presidential? On Memorial Day, didn't even say anything about the veterans.
Oh, yes, he did.
Not in this tweet.
He literally had a whole assembly speech for them recently for the veterans,
Not in this
for the
tweet.
graduating class. And even so, the way some of y'all when the whole Luigi fiasco happening, that is people being the enemy within. I've seen all the posts.
Right-wing domestic terrorism is first through 14th place in domestic terrorism.
We didn't terrorize anybody.
I beg to differ.
No one was being
The
terrorized.
FBI begs to differ.
So then, no, I know exactly. So the whole January 6th fiasco, the FBI took it off their website because really that was unconstitutional. Because Trump,
Unconstitutional, or maybe because he put Kash Patel in charge of the FBI. Maybe that, because he put a public defender in charge of the FBI.
no, it was because Trump said that they were hostages, and so you can't put up innocent people on your
Trump says
website.
they were hostages. Can you substantiate how they were hostages?
Yeah, if you're putting innocent people on your website as a witch hunt, that's being a hostage to a
How are they
society.
innocent? They were convicted
So then why did Trump pardon them?
because he wants domestic terrorists to be running free.
No, because they were innocent.
I'm sure Trump went through a fine-tooth comb and made sure that, like, the guys who put a stun gun to a police officer's neck wasn't pardoned, or maybe he didn't care and just pardoned them anyways. Which one do you think it is?
No, so some of them were actually being out of line, and Trump didn't pardon
He pardoned all of them.
No, some of them were actually
Name one person that wasn't pardoned.
the guy who got unalived on video by the police officer. He wasn't
Oh
pardoned.
my god.
He wasn't pardoned.
It was a girl, Ashley Babbitt.
No, it was a guy.
Who was unalive other than Ashley Babbitt?
There was a guy who was pending pardon from Trump, and he got unalived in the car by a police officer.
Oh, outside. Okay, after Jan 6.
Yes.
So he just happened to be dead, and now he's not pardoned. That's your big gotcha.
It's not really a gotcha. It's a look at the facts.
It's not really a good one, man.
The point is, I just feel like the left, you're not you specifically, but y'all are trying to look for things. Like, y'all are trying to compare the past that's not even in the present. Like, comparing to a whole what happened in
Dog,
Germany.
I'm looking
That's
at
not
his
what's
tweet
going
from
on.
today. This is today. This is him dividing the country further.
That's not
All day, every day.
how are we being divided on him calling to action to people who ruined the country.
We didn't do anything to. He can't name. You can't point your finger at one thing we did to ruin the country. He just lied and said 21 million migrants made it over the border. We literally have a total of like 13 million, 11 from his presidency. He's straight up lying to divide us.
That's not lying.
What do you mean it's not lying? 21 million versus 13?
That doesn't account the international people and the refugees.
All migrants are international.
I'm sorry, not international, domestic.
How is a migrant domestic?
You can be a domestic immigrant.
Where would you come from as a domestic immigrant?
So when you leave the country, you're no longer in the country, right?
Yeah.
So when you come back, that's being domestic. I mean, not domestic.
So they're not migrants, they're just people on tourism?
Yes.
What are you talking about, Trent?
What I'm saying is that the numbers are skewed.
Okay. And Trump, the orange face guy, knows the truth, not Department of Homeland Security or Customs Border Protection. They don't know what they're talking about. Trump does, though. The guy who thinks that magnets go poof underwater and that you can change the direction of a hurricane. That guy? The guy that thinks there were airports in the Revolutionary War?
When he said you can change the direction of a hurricane, when did he say that?
He used a Sharpie to move it on a map.
So you're comparing showing diagrams to him actually.
He's so narcissistic that he wanted a certain state to be in the path of a hurricane that he used a Sharpie to show the trajectory of a place it wasn't going to a place he thought it was going.
I have no comment on that. All in all, what I'm saying is that stop looking toward the past and trying to bring it back. Like, it's over with. Like, stop trying to.
Trying to bring back the past? You mean like today at 45 a.m.?
No, I mean, when the whole Elon hand salute and all that, like, I was looking for that. Like, you
That's the
wanted.
last thing that makes Trump a Yahtzee. Trump literally used the Yahtzee playbook to get elected, and I can substantiate that.
How do you use it?
Do you know what the 14 tenets of fascism are?
No.
I can go over them if you want me to, but
Go
a lot of
go
them
over three
are
of them.
intertwining religion with government, being ultra nationalists. You want to go over them?
Go over three of them.
3 of them? I'll go over them.
Hmm.
Okay. Powerful and continuing nationalism. So for Trump to be crying out America first, even though that's completely incoherent, he does things that are America last all the time. Uh, we have people that wrap their trucks in American flags, getting tattoos of Trump's face, yada, yada, yada. Disdain for recognition of human rights. So basically, kicking people out of the country, sending them to the world's worst prison without any due process, and also him trying to suspend habeas corpus so that he can jail for anybody for no reason. He can jail anybody he wants for no reason for as long as he wants. Identifying enemies as scapegoats is a unifying cause. Dr. Fauci, Nancy Pelosi, Hunter Biden, migrants, even though we haven't seen anything that they've really done wrong, they are worth spending hundreds of billions of dollars removing. Supremacy of the military. Trump's about to have a military parade. He's about to build a golden dome, which is in fucking insane, adding another $1 trillion to our debt. He added 2.2 trillion more dollars to our debt because of this. Rampant sexism. Let's say grab him by the pussy, being civilly adjudicated for sexual abuse of Eugene Carroll, calling her horseface, calling her not the chosen one, saying that she's not his type. Controlled mass media. We have Trump pretty much defunding PBS and NPR, calling certain news stations illegal, not allowing certain news stations into the Oval Office, but he is allowing Russian state media into the Oval Office, which is fucking weird. Obsession with national security. So Trump is using wartime law and saying that we're being invaded or we're under war to use some certain like wartime laws that you usually can't invoke without being otherwise. Religion and government intertwined. Trump has started a federal task force for fighting anti-Christian bias. Basically, the head of it is a televangelist that asked $1,000 for prayer on TV, even as recent as this year. Corporate power is protected. Trump is giving huge tax cuts to billionaires and taxing the middle and lower class to make up for those tax breaks. He's also tweeted just straight up that if you have $1 billion, you want to do business in the United States, he will cut all red tape and go around all consumer protections and environmental protections to allow you to do it. Labor power is suppressed. He's gutted the NLRB. If you don't know what that is, those are the people who are like the head of unions and stuff. Disdain for intellectuals and arts. He's suing colleges right now, trying to control the way colleges do their shit in the name of DEI too. Like he's giving you this big boogeyman, that he's defunding colleges and hurting them any which way he can, possibly because maybe even his son Barron didn't get into those colleges. Obsession with crime and punishment. Lock her up. Does that sound familiar? He's the first president in recent history to write executive orders for the DOJ to actually pursue his political enemies. Rampant cronyism and corruption. We have Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, George Papadopoulos, all sorts of people in his inner circle that he still has in his White House that have been charged of felonies, convicted, everything, and he's pardoned them. Fraudulent elections, need I say more? He's been crying about fraudulent elections for 4 years, and here we are. Trump has dropped the whole topic since he's been elected.
So all that literally happens in Jamaica, South Africa. That happened in Europe as well. No, not Europe, Italy.
Sure, sure.
And I don't see anyone having a fuss about it. But when it's the United States, all eyes on us, right?
That's a huge coat, bub.
It's not being a cope. It's
That is a huge
literally
coat.
saying.
You're just like, that's happening everywhere. That's all you got?
What I'm saying is that you're just picking and choosing what you want to connect the dots to. So the whole Harvard thing, that was because they was actually doing some shady stuff.
Okay.
So
To the
that's why
federal
they didn't
government,
defend it.
shouldn't they prove it in court before they start attacking them based on the president's word?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's not what he's doing.
Well, when you're being accused, your rights are being limited until the investigation gets settled. That's how it works.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you don't
Innocent
get,
till guilty till proven innocent. That's the way we do it now.
it's to protect the public
Yeah.
because
From
I
what?
for more potential dangerous actions. So I have a friend who actually goes to Harvard, and she's not being abused from this whole thing. If anything, she about to graduate, so it's not really a
Okay.
whole.
What about the 20% of their college students who now have to transfer colleges because he outlawed immigrants going to that college because he wants to hurt them financially? 20% of their tuition?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
20% of their college students are being forced to transfer because he suspended the ability for people from other countries to attend Harvard. Or taking away their exempt status, their IRS tax exemption.
And they were already enrolled.
Yes.
Okay, now I don't agree with that. So that's just one thing now.
All right, bro. He literally deleted Department of Education in the name of smaller government, in the name of the federal government keeping their hands out of individual states' education. And here he is fucking with the private company's education system.
So Harvard's not private; they take public funding. So
They're
that's
still
kind of like,
private.
so when you have contracts with the government, you need to follow the rules. You don't get to go willy nilly and do whatever you
They're
want. You
they're
gotta listen
literally
to it.
one of the most prestigious colleges on earth. And yes, they do. They're in the forefront of science for like cancer research and stuff. Most colleges in every other country, that's what they do, and their country funds it. So they're not just getting free money; they're doing the nation a solid by researching these things for us. And for them to not bend to Trump's will because they just get money for is bullshit,
I mean, haven't you been sponsored before? You have to follow the rules, right? Or you don't get the money.
dog.
Exactly how it
That
works here.
that for the state to put contingencies outside of their contracts after the fact is a little silly, right? It's a little silly. Like, hey, you should stop doing DEI. The fuck? Who are you to tell us how to hire people? Hey, they also want to monitor the school's programs and their the way they teach. You really think that's warranted? From the federal government, from the fucking dumbest person that walks the planet, Trump. He's gonna have people monitor the programs. He's gonna have Linda McMahon, the head of the WWE, monitor this. The bitch, the lady who thinks that AI was A1 in a whole speech.
I feel like he should have a specialized team for that so he would know what should and should.
Yeah, we've seen how he chooses people. It's not on merit.
Okay.
All right, sorry, chat. Sorry for calling Linda McMahon a bitch. If you enjoy these debates, give me a follow. If you're a friendly, please get out of the box. I love you, please. Though we're just now picking up traction. We're just now picking up traction. I want to do debates right now. Debates only, please. I love you though. Everyone goes that she is. It was warranted. Sorry, guys. Tiger got out of the cage. Hello?
Hello?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Totally.
Okay. What do you like about Trump?
Well, I was just going to talk about the DEI stuff.
Okay.
Do you agree that Harvard is like, I mean, you said it. You believe that they're number one.
They're
considered to be top scale.
Yeah.
Premium grade, top shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's equate that to the NBA championship, the UFC belt holder. Would you want DEI to compete in that tournament? You don't. You really don't. You want the best of the best of the best. Not the lame duck.
I would contend with you that corporations that partake in DEI are more successful and more productive. There's multiple studies.
And you would totally be wrong.
Can you show me a study
because
that
the
proves
country
that wrong?
didn't get built on DEI. I promise you that.
I don't know what that means.
Those institutions didn't get their credibility off DEI.
It most certainly did.
It most certainly did not.
It actually did.
That's so disingenuous. Jesus.
Okay, there are multiple studies, one of which done by Harvard, that
and
prove
we trust
DEI.
them. They're Chinese literally funded.
They're Chinese funded. So you think
They are.
if Harvard did
China's
a study
taking
and
in
found
the
out,
students right now.
do you think that Harvard found out that DEI was harmful to their productivity and hid it and swept it under the rug and came out with false analysis on their own study?
No, I think that Harvard is disguising the fact that they're in observation tech. And that's the whole entire point. Their sciences that are being developed are for observation and the same stuff the Chinese communists use.
Holy
literally.
Toledo. You know Harvard's older
holy
than...
fact. Holy fact.
Harvard's
Sorry
older
to tell
than
you,
the
buddy,
United
but
States.
you're missing key points of it.
I'm missing
Literally
key points.
key points.
You just gave me like a conspiracy.
I didn't. I gave you an absolute funded fact. And I'm telling you that they're funding extremism. And when Trump asked for the freaking facts about it, they said no. And they're supposed to have it. And guess what? That's
bring
the
these
result.
things to courts?
You want to break the damn law? You want to fund extremism, and you want to bring them over here specifically so they can do that? Then get the fuck out. Period.
All right. First of all, we are limiting ourselves if we don't do DEI, right? So, like, would you?
We aren't limiting nothing.
Would you admit
hire
that
the best
Trump...
damn person? Hire the best person, and that's it.
Then why is Trump for H-1B1 visas? Go ahead and tell me.
And what does that have to do with any of this?
I promise you it'll tie in. Tell me why Trump wants H-1B1
If you're
visas.
benefiting our society, if you're adhering to our culture, you are not an alien, you are not an enemy, you are welcome. That's how it's always been.
And you think Harvard
Holding
is harboring...
foreign loyalty does not make you an American.
You think
Sorry
Harvard
to
is
let you know.
harboring aliens? Is that what you said?
What do you think these visas are for? They're being rejected because they're extremists.
No, they're being rejected as whole, right? So like the entire populace of Harvard who is a migrant is like all of them are being told to transfer. A judge stopped this
as a protection for our country due to the results that their school will not give the information required to get rid of the extremists. Period. Their school doesn't want to adhere to the codes and the laws of our land, then screw them.
What kind of extremism is happening? Don't we have to prove this in court first?
People are freaking getting killed on their campuses, dude.
No, they're not.
In Colombia, yes, they are, dude.
Okay, not
They're
in
hitting
Harvard.
people with the pro-Palestine stuff, and people are getting stabbed.
Who
Come
died
on,
in
man.
Colombia? Who died in Columbia's
dude.
campus?
They broke into federal buildings. First off, federally funded buildings.
You mean
okay?
Trump's
that right there is an
administration?
extremist event. Sorry to let you in on the secret.
Like Trump did with the Treasury and with the Social Security
Trump's
office
the
and all
executive
those.
branch, dude. There is no breaking into a federal building when you're the freaking leader of it.
But Musk did it. I'm sorry.
Under the authority of the executive branch. Why be a clown, dude? Why come up with fake facts?
If he was allowed in, wouldn't he just escort them in?
I mean, or if you have a gatekeeper that's ponying up to the deep state, then that's what happens. You have to get in.
Oh my
That's
God.
exactly what's going on, bud. Sorry to tell you. The same people that did the Russia hoax or the same people that freaking that did the January 6th op. Sorry to tell you, it's not conspiracy. There's too much fact.
You
there.
got me. I'm sure you know all about that stuff.
I do know all about it.
Yeah, tell me about it. Do you think Russia was a hoax?
Russia is a hoax. It's already been Adam Schiff literally lied. They funded it. They funded the hoax, dude. They funded it with USAID money. Why do you think they attacked USAID first? Calm down, dude.
USAID?
Yeah. Why do you think they attacked that first? What do you think when they came out of the box, they attacked the funding of it so that you people that are funding this crap go bankrupt? Period.
Dang,
sorry to tell you.
You got us. Also, like 3 million plus people will die too. But go off, King.
I guess. I understand that you want to come at this from an emotional aspect and say that we're hurting people, but in reality, saving the country is more important than one person's feelings or any 20 people's feelings.
Or 3
Sorry
million
you couldn't
people's
stay
lives.
in Harvard. Sorry you couldn't stay in Harvard because somebody in the faculty decided to be a Chinese-funded piece of crap. Sorry.
What in the world are you talking about?
Right. Man, I'm telling you, they're sending students over here into our colleges. They're getting in with nothing. First off, they're not supposed to receive any aid. So they're being funded by someone. They're having their tuition covered by someone.
Don't we want the most brilliant minds? Don't we want the most brilliant minds, no matter where they are, to attend our colleges and to be like pro-West, pro-United States?
Do you know what one of the conditions to have a visa here is?
What is it?
Holding no loyalty except to our country. That's one of them.
Okay.
Adhere to our ways.
Okay.
Or you are an alien and an enemy
wouldn't
forever.
You have to like prove otherwise?
Obey our laws, adhere to our ways, or you're an alien and an enemy forever. Period.
Okay.
That's the law.
Okay.
That's the law.
And you think that these people were proven to be like foreign agents?
I think so for sure.
And
I think they sent them
none
home.
of Trump's people were
I think they sent them over to our country to send technology back to theirs. Period. That's the whole reason why they're here.
And that's
it's
you
not
coping with Trump stepping over people's First Amendment.
That isn't. That's the reason for the tariffs.
Because
China does nothing but steal intellectual rights from us, period, and everybody knows that.
We all know that China does steal IPs from us, but if you want to cope so hard as to like Trump stomping all over people's First Amendment right in the name of national security, you're falling right in line with one of the 14 tenets of fascism.
No, that's the thing. It has nothing to do with the First Amendment right because you don't have a single right here if you're not a citizen.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't. That document is for citizens.
No, it's not.
That document is for citizens.
You're not going to come up on a debate live and let that slide. That is not true.
Oh, I'm totally going to let it slide. You want to know why? Because that's a fact.
That's a fact. Got it.
Holding no loyalty to another country, bud.
Here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this right in front of you.
You can't be in this country and hold other loyalty.
I'm going to do this right in front of you, okay? Does the U.S. Constitution apply to non-citizens? Yes. Oh my God. Wait a sec. It does to non-citizens, including undocumented migrants? Oh,
okay,
wait a second.
Okay, yeah.
That's so crazy.
You're taking something out of context.
Oh, no.
It does apply to them, but ask yourself, can a non-citizen own a gun?
I'm not sure about that one. I think so, though.
They can't. They can't. You want to know why? Because it doesn't apply to them. The Second Amendment does not apply to them. The protections are for citizens.
Yes, they can.
Like I said, you're taking something.
Generally,
and you don't even understand that these stipulations were built in to prevent.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
A non-citizen in the U.S. is not prohibited from owning a firearm.
Okay, go to any state that says they're not. I know mine doesn't.
What's your state?
I know Texas doesn't. I know Florida doesn't.
Texas.
Okay.
Literally, can a non-citizen own a gun in Texas? Who are legal in the country, generally permitted to own and possess firearms.
If you are legally in the country.
Yeah, but that's not a citizen, right?
No.
Oh, dang. So I guess
if you're
wrong
legally
again,
in the country.
So you're wrong again. So people
a green card does not mean you're a citizen of this country, buddy.
People coming to Harvard that are not citizens are the people we're talking about, right? Those are legally here, huh?
No. You are giving a time limit here.
Wait a second.
That doesn't mean you can buy a gun with that visa.
So you're trying to tell me again that non-citizens going to Harvard that are here legally don't get protection under the U.S. Constitution. And again, you're wrong. They do. I'm sorry this is happening to you.
So if you come, so if like I said, in order to get a visa, you have to prove that you're over here for a reason, correct?
Sure.
Sure. So if corrupt people were pushing the paperwork through and not checking to make sure that they were loyal to our country and just pushing paperwork through,
You'd have to prove that, right? You can't just like point at someone and
that's
be like,
what's being
Chinese
proved.
spy.
That's what they were investigating, bud. That's
Mhm.
exactly what they were
and they're
investigating.
going to
the
investigate it
college
through
stopped it.
Harvard.
The college stopped the evidence from being found.
Can you show
They're
me where to
impeding
find
an
that?
investigation and they're
Can you show
breaking
me
the
where to find
freaking
that?
law. I mean, you should see it all over the news, bud.
I should
That's
see it
exactly
all over.
what-
This is the first time
That's
I've
what
ever heard
started
of it.
this whole entire thing.
This is
They
the
were
first time
never
I've
going to
ever
have
heard of
those
it.
students kicked from that college, ever. They
So
were
now-
never going to have them kicked from that college until the college
So
would
now
not
they're-
work.
The way from keeping these foreign agents from being threats is to make them go to another college here in the U.S. That's going to help.
No, it's breaking up the financial powers of that institution.
So
Literally.
Harvard is taking their
Harvard.
money in order to eventually do something non.
It's the same thing with
American?
the educational department. It really is.
Oh, so
You're
now you have a
giving- you're
conspiracy
giving
about the
them-
education department.
You're giving them billions of dollars and they're showing no results. That's not the best
Okay.
institution in the world to show no results.
Sure.
They were finding out that they were renting stadiums out, dude,
Oh no,
for company parties
like Trump
instead
is
of
doing.
actually giving it to kids that need it.
Dang, like Trump throwing like multi-million-dollar parades. That sucks.
Oh, with his own money?
That's not with his own money. I
It
promise
is
you
with
that.
his own money.
No,
dude.
it's
Come
not.
on, man.
You said, "Come on,
Come on,
We-
dude. You guys are clowns.
No,
You're-
dude,
people
he's
that
literally doing
move
it with
like
his
this are
own
just
money,
absolute
with
wackos,
tax
dude.
money. He's golfed, and he spent tens of millions of dollars already in the first 100
And
days.
he owns the.
Yeah, and he owns it. Oh, he got removed from violations. Yeah, when you spread conspiracies, TikTok doesn't like that. I got news for you guys. Trump is using tax dollars to do all of this. Holy shit. That guy was mad, dude. That was real mad. He'll be all right. Yellow, is this a Trump supporter? All right. He'll be all right, chat. Chat, tap the screen. Let's get the 50K. Yellow.
Yeah.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yep.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
Everything about him, everything he touches turns to gold. Believe it or not.
Yeah? What about Trump University?
Okay, let me ask you something. Did you vote for Biden?
Of course.
You know that you voted for a walking dead corpse.
And he did
You knew
fantastic.
That. You know that, right?
He was a
voted
very
for
effective dead corpse.
Dead corpse, a dead walking corpse.
He was a very fantastic dead walking corpse. Very effective.
Yeah, he was a walking corpse.
He was very effective.
And then you guys, your party, hid it from everybody, and told us not to talk about his conditions. You
okay.
guys are liars. You guys lie to the hell. Every time that money's stolen from our taxes, there's always a Democrat that's doing it.
Yeah. Did they
Always
ever
a
find any of that?
Yeah, sure.
Where did they
A
find
lot
it?
of them are gonna get caught. A lot of them
Wait,
are gonna
who,
get caught.
Who was it? Who'd they find doing that?
A lot of people.
Can you name one?
Schumer is one of them.
Schumer.
Schumer. And then Schumer for sure. Well, he became a millionaire
Yeah.
out of his salary.
Mm.
Pelosi's another one.
Pelosi. Did they?
Pelosi's another
When did
one
they
that
get
stole money
convicted?
from tax money.
When were they
And
indicted?
inside trading. And
Did
she
they
did
get-
inside trading.
they get indicted?
They're all crooks. They're all crooks.
I want to read you. I want to read you a quote from
No,
somebody.
you're getting your information from CNN. I don't want to hear it.
PJ, I want you to
I
calm
don't want
down.
to hear it. You know,
You don't
this
wanna
guy
hear
that
anything?
was just on. This guy was just on. Just blew you out of the water.
Oh, he got me. I'll take the L on
Yeah,
that.
he got you. He blew you out of the water. He blew
I'll take
you
the
out.
L,
I hope
dude.
he's listening.
You
I
got
hope
me.
he's listening. You get your information from CNN.
Hey, are you okay?
Okay. Now that about the Senate, about these illegal aliens getting weapons. This is done by the lower courts, by Obama lawyers, judges that were put in, not from the Supreme Court. Doesn't make any sense to give a gun to an illegal alien.
What are you
don't even know
talking
who
about?
the fuck he is. You
What are
don't
you
know who he is.
What are you saying, dude? Are you okay, man?
You voted for a corpse, a dead corpse.
PJ,
And
you all right?
Yeah, I'm sick of you guys. You guys over here shitting on Trump.
Hey,
And you
PJ,
don't know
PJ, I've
your
let you
own
speak for a
party is
while.
the-
I've let you speak for a while. Can
Your
I
own
speak now?
party is the dark side. Your own
PJ,
party is the dark
PJ,
side.
can
You
I talk?
want
Can
you
I
want
talk
women
now?
to guys that
PJ, I'm real sad because you're not
you
letting me
want
talk.
guys to
PJ,
go and
I
go
want to be able
sports.
to. PJ, I just
Don't
want
give
to
me
talk.
that. Don't give me that.
Can
I
I-
don't want to hear it. There's
PJ,
nothing you can say that's gonna convince me.
Can I have
Nothing
a
you can
turn?
say. I just want to
PJ,
say you guys
do you
are
play
all
nice?
crooks.
Can
You
you be
guys are crooks.
PJ, I
You
just
guys
want.
are crooks and liars.
Can you?
You're
Can you just talk?
liars.
Can I
You're
have a?
liars.
Hey, this is my channel. Can I talk? Hey, PJ, are you okay? PJ.
Yeah, I'm from common sense, man. You don't have any common sense.
PJ, it's me.
You don't
It's
have any
Pickles.
common sense.
PJ, it's me. Are you there?
Okay? You want pedophiles and
PJ.
trans guys to go into women's bathrooms. This is what you voted for.
Hey, wait a second, PJ. It's not right.
Okay?
It's not true.
Look at all the damage that Biden did bringing all these illegal aliens into the United States. He did so
Hey,
much damage
PJ.
that probably not even Trump can fix.
PJ, you're real mad, and I feel like you've got some real big feelings. Got some real
I've
big
been
feelings,
watching
PJ.
you for a while. You talk a lot of baloney. You get your information from CNN.
No, I use the
Information from
Googles.
CNN.
I just use the Googles.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense for an illegal alien to come and have a gun? You don't even know who he is.
Oh my gosh.
You don't know who the hell he is. You don't know if you don't know whether he's a cartel guy or in a gang. Does that make sense to give a gun to a MS-13? Does that make any sense?
PJ, you have like an accent. Where are you from? You have an accent? Are you there?
It's a New York City accent.
Nice. PJ, can I read something now?
Nah, don't read me anything.
I'm just gonna read it. Okay.
Nah, don't read me anything.
Hey,
You get your
hey,
information
you
from
can put your
CNN.
earplugs in. Put your earmuffs
You
on if
get
you
it
don't want to
from
hear
CNN.
it. Hey,
You
just
get
put
it
your
from
earmuffs
CNN.
on, okay?
I don't want to hear this.
I know. Just plug
I
your
don't
ears.
wanna hear this.
Plug your ears, PJ. You can pray about it later, okay?
You voted for a corpse.
PJ,
a
let's
dead
pray about it
corpse,
together.
A man that was dead, a walking zombie.
Hey,
Who
PJ.
didn't even know what the hell he was. Nobody
is it
knew
my
what
turn
the hell
yet?
he was talking about.
PJ.
A zombie.
PJ,
That's who you voted for.
I love you
A
so much,
walking
PJ.
corpse, and you hit it.
PJ.
You try to brainwash the conservatives that he was up to his head in brilliance. He was a dumb piece of garbage.
Nuh-uh. PJ, I want to read you a quote now.
And he wasn't even running the country.
I'm gonna read a quote.
He wasn't reading. Don't read me.
I'm gonna read a
anything.
quote.
He wasn't even running the
PJ,
country.
I'm gonna
He
mute you
wasn't
now.
running the country.
I feel like this is. Listen, guys, we're about 5 minutes in for asking for a turn. I'm gonna mute him real quick. This is a quote from Donald Trump himself. This is last week. When you look at what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, the drone is killing tremendous numbers of people. You hide behind a tree and the drone comes down, it circles you with fire. You don't have a chance. The tree comes down also, by the way. It's so intense. I mean, you look at these trees being knocked down like they're being sawed down by a top-of-the-line timberman. Like you know who? Sean Duffy. Do you know that Sean Duffy, the head of transportation department, who's working right now in the airports of getting a system because Biden didn't do a thing for 4 years? Pete Buttigieg was the head, and he goes bicycling into work. He takes a bicycle to work. Can you believe he's running the biggest air system in the world and he takes a bicycle to work? And they say he's going to run for president. I don't see it. Who knows, right? But I don't see it. But when I look at what they've done, it's so horrible what they've done. And the work they've did do. They've wasted billions of dollars trying to hook up air systems to copper. And they tried to hook up copper to glass, and the glass doesn't work like with the copper. And they had 30,000 different contractors doing 30,000 jobs. And when they put it all together, they spent billions of dollars. I didn't even come close to working. It didn't even come close to working. And we're going to be giving out a brand new system. It's very important. And we'll have the best system. And we think we know who that system is. But we have a lot of bidding. There's 2 more paragraphs. PJ, did you hear what I was saying? PJ, I invited you to unmute. PJ, that's a quote from your president. Did you know they're also in the process of taking down all the transcripts of Trump's speeches on whitehouse.gov? PJ left. Guys, PJ had somebody paid to kick PJ. Susan, thank you so much for the pay to kick. Wow, I've been on for 10 minutes and you've had to deal with nothing but idiots. I don't know how you do it. Please keep it up. Thank you, Susan, so much. W Susans. Chat, it's so crazy. I think we should find more Trump speeches. Hello?
He said, "Oh,
I'll go get a shoebox."
Hello?
Why do your mods have me blocked everywhere, reject all my requests? They must not be white or something. I don't know. They're pissed. They don't like a
What
white.
does that mean?
They're keeping a WGGA down, a Wicca down. They keep, bro. Let a Wicca breathe or something.
What is that, dude?
Give a Wicca
Gee,
a
I
break.
wonder why, RC.
We made the word. We could say it. Give a Wicca a break for real.
We made the other one too, didn't we?
What other one? Nuclear? I don't know. We made the language. They speak our language. So, like, you keep muting me, blocking me. It's the left that furthers people on my side to the right. They're the ones that further radical.
All right. There must be a really good reason for this, because Tanner, my mods have the ears all over the internet. You know, like you watch Game of Thrones. Haley, thank you so much for the $5. Says some real gyms on here today. Much love, Heather. If you guys watch Game of Thrones, there's a guy called Littlefinger, and he has little birdies everywhere. That's who I am, but they call me Big Finger. Yeah, all right. I get you, Tanner. W mods, guys, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop in the box. We've got a breaking news story from X. I don't know what to do. My iPad's not connecting.
morning. Our sacred rule of law is under attack. Journalism is under attack. Universities are under attack. Freedom of speech is under attack. And insidious fear is reaching through our schools, our businesses, our homes, and into our private thoughts. The fear to speak in America. Power can rewrite history with grotesque, false narratives. They can make criminals heroes and heroes criminals. Power can change the definition of the words we use to describe reality. Diversity is now described as illegal. Equity is to be shunned. Inclusion is a dirty word. This is an old playbook, my friends. There's nothing new in this.
That was
But in this
Scott
moment-
Pelley, veteran journalist. Scott Pelley. That's good. Those words. Diversity is a dirty word now. Wow. W. All right, guys. I guess we're going to turn on the phone line here soon. Tap the screen. Let's get to 100K real quick. And I'm going to turn on the phone line so that these angry people on YouTube could call in. Let's see if we can get some angry YouTubers in here to debate. Some dirty, angry YouTubers. All right, the phone line is on the screen. I still don't like the placement of this phone number. I want to keep it like down here so that it doesn't get clipped. Can y'all see that on YouTube? Can y'all see that phone number? Like right there-ish. All right, we're turning it on. Larry Mueller's back in here, not again. What's up, Jace? Good to see you, Story. Guys, hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Yeah, how are you?
Doing good. Are you? What do you like about Trump?
Oh, I know you asked everybody that. I'm not really here for that. Hey, I just saw, flipping through, you do the vertical stream on YouTube. So obviously you're trying to generate some new viewers.
Yeah.
I just found you. Where do you get the pickles name from? What is that all about?
It's my dog's name. Listen, I'm trying to do debates. Are you trying to debate?
Oh, I'm in it with you. I'm definitely a Trump supporter.
Okay. Do you want to start a conversation in regards to a debate?
Well, I'm not really much up for debate, but what I am kind of curious about is I see a lot of the statements and what you base as facts as being hoaxes. Are you willing to acknowledge at least that there's been a number of hoaxes put out there in the political sphere for political gain, whatever that purpose is? Would you agree to that?
Honestly, I think what you're doing is muddying the waters, which is something that Trump has championed over the last 8 or 9 years. What I do is I look at individual claims and I look up individual facts on those claims. I don't really just like perpetuate hoaxes or conspiracies.
Right. So would you agree that the Fine People hoax was just that?
I think sure that was misrepresented, but I don't think people are just like still angry about that today. I think Trump has done plenty to make himself unlikable in that sense, and to show he's a person of bad moral character since that day. In many other ways, I don't think we need that to determine Trump to be a bad person. I mean, we can just look at Trump's tweets today from this morning. He is not a good person. He is not trying to bring this country together.
You like to pile on a lot of information all at one time. Are you aware of that?
I think what I did was elaborate on one single point as best I could.
Actually, you didn't. You went into a whole lot of other things. But so just taking the Fine People hoax, I find that when I go out to these protests these days, especially here in my local small town, the elderly that are out there with their signs calling Trump a king and a Nazi and, all of those terms that, one of the things they still go back to is the Fine People hoax. So you say it's how did you?
I don't think that's a big one for me. I sit up here and I do these debates all day, and I don't really.
Yeah, no, it may not be a big one for you, but there's people out there that still believe that, right? That's you must be aware of that to a certain extent now.
Here's what I know. I know that Trump was sued by the federal government in 1973.
Yeah, you don't have to keep going through all these because your audience and myself have heard you. I've only been watching you for like 30 minutes now, maybe. Okay. And I've heard you say the same things over and over again.
You haven't heard me say this not in a month or two.
It would be awesome if maybe you could take one thing and just stick to it for a second. Because to me, that would be a more reasonable way to have a discussion.
We're going to let me talk. This is my phone line. This is my channel. All right?
It is.
Okay.
I understand.
So listen, Trump has been sued for being racist by the federal government in 1973 for denying black people housing. He has been condemned for writing a full-pledged letter for the Central Park 5. He has been on record.
Talk about the Central Park 5.
He has been.
No, talk about the Central Park 5.
Okay,
you want to throw all this stuff out there.
He has been on record saying he won't let black people count his money. He has been on record saying
not
certain
specifically
people.
The Central Park 5.
He has been.
So at least if you're going to do this, be honest in your argument.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you know the details of the full-page ad? Do you know what the full-page ad was and what it said?
I can pull it up. He was asking for the death penalty, right?
Please. Yes, it was about the death penalty.
Yeah.
Correct?
What about it?
If you pull up the entire ad, does it have anything to do with the Central Park 5? Does it say anything about the Central Park 5?
Bring back the death penalty. Bring back the police.
Yes.
Unless it has anything to do with Trump, then it's people going after him. Okay, what has happened to our city over the past 10 years? I love that this is the same city that has charged him with multiple crimes, and then he says it's unfair.
Right,
what happened to law and order, to neighborhood cop. We all trusted to safeguard our homes and families. The cop had the power under the law to help us in times of danger. Here, I'm going to pull this up on the screen. Keeps us safe from those who have
where does it say anything about Central Park 5?
Many New York families, white, black, Hispanic, and Asian, have give up the leisurely stroll into the park at dusk. That's why.
Yep.
This is very right. This is very. So you're saying this is just alluding to it, but at the same time, it wasn't talking about Central Park 5?
You brought up the Central Park 5 and this full-page ad, which says nothing about the Central Park 5, does it?
Bring back the death penalty. Let our politicians
Has
give back our
nothing to
police
do with
department
Central Park 5, though, does it?
shackle a constant which every petty criminal hurls immediately an officer as the risk of their life, saving others. We must cease our continuous pandering to the criminal population of the city. Give New York back the citizens who have earned the right to be New Yorkers. Send a message loud and clear to those who would murder our citizens and terrorize New York. Bring back the death penalty. I'm going to read the rest of it, though. Many New York families, white, black, Hispanic, and Asian, Had to give up the pleasure of leisurely scroll through the park at dusk. The Saturday visit to the playground with their families, bike ride at dawn, just sitting in their troops, giving them up as hostages to a world ruled by law and order. Thank you for the $1 from Book. And thank you for this. It's for sunflowers. Thank you so much. The law of the streets as roving bands of wild criminals roam through our neighborhoods, dispensing their own vicious brand of twisted hatred on whoever they encounter. At what point did we cross the line from fine to noble pursuit of genuine civil liberties to the reckless and dangerously permissive atmosphere which allows criminals of every age to beat and grape a helpless woman? That is exactly what he's talking about in Central Park 5.
Nowhere does he mention the Central Park 5.
That
That's
is
one
the
small
case of the
pivot,
Central Park
right?
5. Tell me, what is the Central Park 5? What is it alluding to? What is the case? Tell me.
Oh, they raped her in the park.
Okay. So when he does this in the same time period, and he's talking about a
It's
woman
one
that was
piece,
beaten and
correct?
raped, how
Right.
many beaten and raped
context-
women do you think came out in that time period?
Yeah, so that full page ad is talking about the state of New York City particularly, and the
Okay.
violence and
And
criminal
it's
activity that was
cited the
going on,
Central Park
correct?
5. It's cited the Central Park 5. Right there. Just right there.
One tiny little snippet of that
Okay.
entire context.
All
Correct?
right, bro.
But it does not cite Central Park 5 specifically. He's not attacking them.
Okay.
He's attacking the rule of law and order in the city of New York, correct?
Did you
you
know
just
that if
read
the
it.
people originally arrested for that crime would have been unalived, they would have been wrongfully unalived, right?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you know that the Central Park 5 were exonerated, right?
Well, there's a whole legal aspect to the Central Park 5, and I don't have the facts completely.
Okay, now
But
you
from
don't
what I
have the
understand,
facts.
from what I understand, they were all involved with the rape of this woman.
No.
I look into it. I think you
All
might
right, bud.
find that I'm not
All right.
necessarily wrong.
Okay. All right.
They were not innocent.
So this
They
is
didn't
you.
get
This is
convicted,
what Trump does
but
to
they were not
MAGA
innocent.
minds. They are warping.
Yeah.
He warps the truth.
Well, don't
In order
take my
to not
word
be
for
wrong,
anything.
you have to really stretch the situation, right? I just
No,
proved to you
Pickle,
that
don't
this has
take my word for
everything.
anything.
This has
Do
everything
your
to
own
do.
research.
This has. I just did. You saw this, right? I just did that, and this is what happens when you do your own
You-
research.
you read
find
the
out
art-
this
you
really
read the
is
full
about the
page
Central
ad.
Park 5. You find
It's
out that
not.
this really
It's
is
not
about that.
specifically about the Central Park 5,
I
and
am
you just read it,
so-
and you can't
I'm
even
so sorry
acknowledge
this is
the fact
happening
of
to
what
you.
it's truly about.
This is what it's truly about. You think Trump randomly woke up on a random day and wrote this, or was it because the Central
It
Park
may
5?
have been. It may have been a catalyst to it, but the
Okay.
overall concept and what is written there for you in context is that it's about the overarching problem that was going on in New York City at the time. Is criminals were not being held accountable for their actions.
Mm, mm.
You just read it, man. How can you sit there
Bring back
and
the death
deny?
penalty. Especially when
Yeah,
except for
I
if you grab
fully
them by the
agree.
pussy. Don't do it don't do it then.
Well, of course. But you want to be cute, But you read this, so at least be honest. The problem is what I saw in just 20 minutes of watching your live stream is you're not honest.
I think you're wrong, and I think that I just caught
Okay.
you being dishonest.
In what way?
You said that this was
Because
not
you
in
didn't do
any
that.
way
You
about
read
the
one
Central Park
little
5.
sentence that
Just-
alludes to the woman who was raped.
Okay, so you see how maybe you didn't read the whole thing and you just came up
So
here and
you don't
lied.
think rapists should be unalived? You
First of all-
don't think that somebody who commits such a vile, heinous crime
First
should
of
be
all,
held accountable?
First of all, I don't believe in the death penalty. No. You guys
So
are pro-life,
are you going
right?
to protect
Are you
people like
are you
that?
pro-life?
Am I pro-life?
Yeah.
I would say yeah, I'm pro-life.
Okay. All right.
There's a line for me.
Got it.
There's a line at which you've gone too far, and let's say it's 10 weeks. That's my line. After 10 weeks, you're talking about a human being.
All right. All right. Well, when I think about the death penalty, we have research that shows it's not a deterrent for the crime, and it also cost us an actual fortune. So for somebody to spend the majority of their life in jail, which is I think way worse, it cost I think $75,000. And when we're talking about like putting someone to
I
death,
don't really care.
They
I
they
think that
cost
when it
millions
comes
of
to
dollars.
committing crimes, are you capable of committing a violent crime?
Am I capable?
Yes.
In what sense? I'm a full human being. Yes, I have the mechanisms to do it.
You're a man, correct?
Sure.
Okay. Do you? I would say that men have the ability to take life.
Yeah.
That is what a man does in order to either feed their family, protect their family. They will do what's needed to protect the ones they love. That is a man. Women are gatherers, men are hunters. Traditionally,
All right.
that's
All
right.
Your misogyny showing, but okay.
Yeah, it's misogyny, but you're absolutely correct. The problem is that you libtards, like you've shown here, are incapable of doing anything with a reasonable will of survival. You'll be the last ones.
I don't know what that means. I
Well,
don't think that makes sense.
every time I see, like, for instance, I go out to these protests. The people who are protesting are left-wing, liberal, progressive, whatever you want to call them. They are left-wing. They hate Trump. They also want to protect criminals. They want to coddle criminals. They want to protect people
Elect him
who...
into the White House?
Yeah, Trump's not a criminal, by the way.
Okay. All right.
So,
Sorry,
yeah.
my bad. I thought he had 34
Right,
felonies.
because
My bad.
you're unwilling to be...
My bad.
You know. So you can obviously tell me what the underlying crime was that he was convicted of 34 felonies?
Yeah, it was fraud.
Since you're going to make this claim that he's a 34-time felon,
Yeah,
what
he's a
is the
fraud.
underlying crime that he was convicted on?
Fraud.
No. What is the underlying crime?
Fraud.
No, it wasn't. The fraud were the charges. What was the underlying crime that allowed them to go after this years later, beyond the statute of limitations, go after him, and it was the
Beyond
underlying
the statute
crime
of
that made it felony.
limitations? What makes you think
what
that?
was the
What crime
underlying
do you
crime?
think I'm talking about?
The 34 felonies.
I don't even know if you know what the 34 felonies are at this point. You said statute of limitations. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that was the thing. They were unable to get felonies out of them until they changed the laws, and then they had an underlying crime, which they never conveyed what that underlying crime was.
You're getting his criminality mixed up, my friend. You're talking about E. Jean Carroll's civil lawsuit and his felonies at the same time.
The E. Jean Carroll was years prior. Either way, but the other one, what is the underlying crime that made them felonies?
Dog, it was the fact that it had to do with election
it doesn't exist.
finance. Yes, it was election finance.
No.
It was fraud. You're gonna have to go ahead and
It
tell
wasn't.
me if you have a claim here.
I don't have a claim. It's you making claims.
You're saying what is the underlying crime, and you keep quizzing me. Just go ahead and tell me.
There wasn't one. That's the problem.
Oh my God.
There was no
Okay.
underlying crime. It wasn't even brought out in court.
Okay. Well,
So they made up
the
a
thing.
fictitious underlying crime to
the
turn it
reason-
into felony.
The reason this
That's
was
why it's called a
investigated.
political
The
witch
reason
hunt,
this
right?
was
And that's
investigated.
what people
Okay,
who
wrong. Do
support
you know
Trump
what Michael
also
Cohen went to prison for?
I don't care what Michael Cohen went to
Okay,
prison
that's
for.
why you're wrong. That's because you don't
Yeah.
know what's going on.
Look, bro, when the government wants to find anything against you, Pickles, they will find something against you. We all commit crimes on a daily basis.
I feel like you're
I'm
backtracking
sure.
now, right? So Michael
I'm
Cohen.
not.
Michael Cohen.
You're the one that likes to
excuse
continue.
me. Excuse me. Michael Cohen went to prison for a whole fucking year for lying for Donald Trump at the instruction of Donald Trump. And guess what? When people heard this in a committee hearing, they said, wait a second, it sounds like Trump is lying about his finances. This sounds like something we should look into. And then they looked into it and they found out that he was lying.
No. Look, brother. I know you want to hate Trump and this makes you money and it does your thing. I'm not going to get into this with you.
I know you probably shouldn't because it sounds like I know a lot more than you.
Everything you've been told in the circular reporting is clear. It took 20 minutes, and it didn't even take 20 minutes to figure that out.
Did they find him guilty? Like, did a whole jury find out that he was guilty?
You love this gotcha bullshit. seriously, you love the gotcha thing. There's no gotcha. The simple fact is that in 2016, immediately following his inauguration, they were filing for, impeachment.
Yeah, and what was that for? What do you think he?
Seriously, what the fuck, man?
Do you understand what he was
literally
impeached for?
support the political witch hunt that's been going on.
I'm sorry, there was no witch hunt. Do you understand what he got impeached for?
People like you can't even figure out how to get out of the predicament we've gotten into.
It sounds like you
and
know
you
about like
literally
enough of
had
this to
Joe
be upset
Biden,
about it.
who is incapable of being a president.
Do you want to talk about any of these things?
No, seriously.
Do you want to talk about any of these things? Do you know why Trump was impeached? Can you tell me what was wrongful about his impeachments?
Everything.
So you don't know anything?
It's an absolute. What are you waving in front of the screen?
It's a wand, because you're about to get fetus elitist if you don't tell me. What was he impeached for? What was his first impeachment for?
I have no idea. He wasn't actually
You
impeached.
don't know? And you're telling me it was a witch hunt impeachment?
No, because it was such bullshit. It was
All right.
incredible. Every single Democrat, not a single Republican.
Can you see how you're ignorant and like dangerously ignorant,
it's not ignorant
about this?
It's not. It's taking what's important and moving it to the top of the list. And
Okay,
the thing
so-
is that we all watch these faux impeachments happen,
Faux.
and you want to continue to carry this on. This is the problem with America right now: is people like you, people on the left that want to continue this nonsense.
Okay.
And you're constantly fed these, like what's the
Like
thing you
the
were talking about
facts?
this morning about the tweet from this morning?
Like
What
the
is
damn
your
facts.
upset today?
Trump's tweet for today for Memorial Day?
Yeah, what was it that upset
It was
you about?
it was in
I
all
didn't even see
caps,
it.
and he called us radical leftists and told us go to hell. That one?
I don't know. How can you put it up on screen for me? I didn't see it.
I can, but I feel like you're obfuscating. I want to talk about you just saying that these impeachments were faux impeachments. So I'm gonna be a radical leftist real quick.
I don't want to rehash the past, man.
I'm gonna
We have
relearn
moved
you.
past
I want to
it.
relearn
Just
you
like
about
January
these impeachments.
6th. We've moved past it.
I know
because
that
this leftist
it's like one of those
creation
scabs
yours
you don't want to pick at.
doesn't work anymore. The
I don't
people
know what
have
you're
said,
talking about.
fuck off.
I don't know,
Literally,
it
the
seems-
people
it
who
seems
voted
like-
for Trump have said, fuck off.
I know.
We are the majority. We rule the House, the Senate,
And you
and the
still can't pass
executive
anything.
branch.
I know. You still
Yeah.
can't govern. It's sad. Listen, if you guys don't want to look at the facts, if you guys don't like looking at this and addressing the mistakes of the past, I don't know what to tell you. That's you.
Why do you think
Maybe
Trump
pray
has
about
more
it?
Democrats on his team than ever before?
You mean
You don't find that strange?
almost
so
like
many
all of-
Democrats that have left the
many-
Democratic Party who
how
still
many
have the same beliefs.
how many Democrats did we have speak at the DNC? I mean, Republicans. Did we have speak at the DNC? Do you know? That's what I thought.
They're not
That's what I
Republicans, I
thought.
would
That's
say.
what I thought. That's what I thought.
But that's interesting.
Okay.
How many were there? Who was there?
It was like dozens. It was like dozens,
let me-
dude.
eye
We
patch
had
guy?
huge
Was
Democrat.
he
Like
there?
what happens to a
Which
Republican after they don't
Republicans
fall in line with
spoke at
Trump?
the DNC? Which Republican spoke
I
at
can
the
pull it
DNC?
up.
Refresh my
But
memory.
Liz Cheney was one, wasn't she? No,
No,
she
you
actually
should
did a whole
remember.
thing.
Liz Cheney, yeah, she's great. She's
Love her.
really great.
Love
She's
her. What
proven
about
to be
Adam
really
Kinzinger?
solid
What
for the
about-
country.
What about all of the people that you guys call rhinos after they just don't fall in line with Trump?
Well, the one I have a problem with right now is Massey, and I love Massey,
Some-
and I also agree with Massey. So it's interesting to watch the dynamic of what's going on because do you know what he created that's really interesting?
what?
The debt clock or the debt counter that he's got.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
I know of a debt clock that probably is different than his.
Well, he created one. He's like a, I don't know, some sort of scientist, mechanical scientist. Anyway, he created like a pin that you wear that's a debt clock, and it shows the current debt
Yeah.
of the United States.
I'm sure you're very familiar
Um,
with how the debt goes up being a Republican.
Oh yeah. That's been going up for years. I'm 52 years
Yeah.
old.
And you notice how
we've been
Republicans
seeing it
explode the
constantly going
deficit and the debt, and Democrats have to fix it all the time.
Right. And so the Democrats were doing such a great job reducing the debt prior to 2016, right?
Yeah, we did great. Yeah.
Reducing the debt
Yeah.
prior to 2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deficit.
And how do you base that on?
Well, I'll
What
get you
like
the number.
what?
I have that saved on a screen on my iPad. But real quick, here's a list of all the
Yeah.
Republicans that were at
Oh,
the
there you
that
go.
spoke at the DNC. We got
Yeah,
Stephanie
let's hear it.
Grisham, Anna Navarro, John Giles, Olivia Troy,
Anna
Jeff
Navarro,
Duncan,
she's a
and
conservative.
Adam Kinzinger.
Wait. Just slow the fuck down, bro. You're like desperate to get people to call in, and then when you've got somebody here, just slow it down a little bit. Take your time.
Okay.
So Anna Navarro, is that the woman who's on CNN all the time?
Yes.
Fuck me. She
She's
is
a
not
political
conservative
commentator.
by any means. She is not a Republican by any means. Have you ever listened to that woman?
She is though.
Seriously.
She is.
You really want to throw her in as a Republican
Yeah.
at the DNC?
Listen, if you're gonna call Kristi
You
Noem,
fucking people say
if
anything.
you're gonna call Kristi Noem and people like
the
that,
mentality of.
yeah. Let me guess. You think you think RFK
Are you
is
not
a
smart enough to
Democrat?
think for yourself, brother?
You think Kristi
Are
Noem's a
you
Democrat?
not fucking smart enough?
Do you think Tulsi Gabbard's a Democrat?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right.
She was the head
All
of the DNC.
All right.
She was the head of the DNC until
Can you tell me
what was
like
it,
can
Hillary
you tell me a
Clinton called her a
progressive
Russian spy?
Yeah,
See,
because
this
she's a
is-
weirdo.
this is like, she's a weirdo?
Yeah, she went through unofficial channels to have meetings with the leader of Syria, Bashar al-Assad.
Bashar al-Assad, yeah.
Through unofficial channels, just randomly shows up and has a meeting with him out of the country. That's not weird.
What?
That's not
Okay,
fucking
so
weird.
Ask yourself, please, to think about this. First you have to go back in time. Okay, so put yourself in that time frame of what
Okay.
was going on. Do you remember what was happening in Syria at that time?
Yeah, we were bombing the absolute fuck out of it.
Actually, no, we were not. We had nothing going on in Syria.
Okay.
So, as I remember it, Syria was the most Western country in the Middle East. Western ideas.
In what year?
More Well, yes, they were more Catholics
year?
living in Syria. What?
I'm asking for a year.
Oh shit! What year was that? It was pre-2015. This was back when the claims were that Assad was bombing his own people with.
We found the
chemical
graveyards
gas.
to prove that to be true, right?
I don't know that we did.
Yes, we did.
See, that's-
Dude, you
look,
are really skating on thin ice, Buster. Really?
Well, give me this for a second. Let me frame it for you this way. Do you believe everything the media tells you?
Oh my God, no! I fact check stuff,
Okay,
unlike
good.
you guys.
So why is it that you say and agree that the media doesn't always tell us everything,
Listen,
or maybe the truth, right?
Listen, this is the difference between me and you. All right. So the media makes a claim, and then I Google it and I say fact check this. And if another media station wanted to have a bombshell report being like CNN reported entirely fake news and here are the facts, that would come out. That is newsworthy. I would be able to find that. But you think that all these media stations are working in unison against Trump, the one truth sayer, and it's insane to me.
That is factually provable.
That's okay.
However, we're talking about early mid 2000, right? We're talking about Syria. This is before the fake news, all that stuff, right?
Before
and
it's called Lugenpress. Get it right.
Pardon me? I've not heard that.
It's called
Okay,
Lugenpress.
but anyway,
Lugenpress?
so before Trump and his fake news claims, right? This is way before all that. This is way before Trump even hit the scene, right? You've got Syria happening, and if I remember correctly, Russia was going in there. You've had the Taliban in the area, right?
I really want to know at what time they were westernized. I want to know that part.
Well, the claim was that they were more Western than all of the Middle East.
Dude, you're explaining this slower than sex. Can you just get it over with?
I'm not in a rush. The point being is that we were talking about Syria and Tulsi Gabbard going over there. So what she did was she went to see for herself what was going on. And she didn't break the law.
I know she. Listen,
What
but
she
that's
did
why,
was legal.
that's why we were. That's
And
why we're all questioning what the fuck. She also has tweeted some very questionable things, like being very sympathetic to like North Korea and stuff. She's fucking. She is very questionable.
in
And
what
if
way
you
was she
don't,
sympathetic to North Korea? Because you guys, you make these claims, but you also
oh
call
my
everything
god.
misogynistic, everything racist, right? So when you claim that she's this, I go, she probably isn't,
All right.
right?
All right.
Because
Well, here's the thing.
you
Here's the
have
thing.
this.
You guys are trained to do this thing. It's called. It's what Hitler called Lugenpress. So it means the lying media.
Why do you love quoting Hitler so much?
Because Trump does.
Why? No, I know you're calling Trump Hitler. I get it. You can't handle life. The problem
you guys go crazy when I say it, but it's
you've
true.
created this environment where you cannot have a conversation about anything.
No, listen, I
Because
know
the
it
minute
sounds
the minute you guys have a
crazy.
problem, you're calling names.
No, I'm
right?
just saying.
And the
this
simple
is
fact
what it is.
We're having a conversation about something that you brought up, which
Listen,
was Tulsi Gabbard.
I know it makes your
and the
feelings
fact
get
that
real
Hillary
big.
Clinton called her
It
a
makes you-
Russian asset,
Yes, she is.
and she left
probably
the
is.
Democrat Party because of it.
Okay. Well, we call out corruption
Right?
when we see it, right? You guys open
But
arms.
you're not right about it. You're
You guys
not
welcome
accurate
it.
about it. You're just calling names. And that's the point. That is why, again, you lost the 2024 election because
By
everything's fucking racist to you
1.7%.
guys.
I got it.
And you can't have a good faith conversation.
Dude,
So you wonder why people like me get so frustrated and argue
do.
and
You get
yell at
very
you because
frustrated.
it's infuriating that you can be so fucking like insane over your beliefs because it's literally what has gotten us to this point. It's the reason J6 happened. It's all of these these things built up. Next thing you're going to tell me is like the Proud Boys are some political right-wing violence group.
Hold on. The people that were charged with seditious conspiracy?
Yeah, there was no seditious conspiracy. But that's okay. I get it. I know you believe all these things.
Dude, what?
I know we could look, Pickles, you and I could talk for hours and go over a whole ton of things. But, is it worthwhile?
Yes.
Probably not.
Yes.
What would the value in it be, Pickles?
Holy
what
fuck.
would the value
You
be?
just know you're getting cooked, man. You just said the people that were
I'm
doing
not-
listen, like seditious conspiracy is very much treasonous and very much domestic terrorism. And if you're starting to sympathize with those people, I'd maybe start asking yourself a little like some different questions. Like, why am I
Pickles,
here?
tell me this.
Why do I believe
How
all
many
this?
Proud Boys were at the Capitol on January 6th?
Listen, the people charged with seditious
No.
conspiracy
How many
were the
Proud
people drawing
Boys
up the
were at the
plans. I don't know.
Now, how many people? One, they didn't draw up plans. Two,
Of course they did. They
how
had
many
fucking T-shirts made. Yes, they did.
How many Proud Boys were at the Capitol on January 6th?
I don't know. What's the number?
Rough number. Rough number. What do you
I'm
think?
gonna say dozen.
How many?
A dozen.
Really? No, there was more than that.
Oh, my bad.
Because everybody says it's the Proud Boys that seized the Capitol. Well, no, because people on the left wingers.
All right. Well, now you're
like
just
to
you're
like
straw
to
manning
claim
what
that
I'm-
everybody's a
You're
Proud
straw
Boy,
manning
right?
my stance, then, right? Because that's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm giving you an argument that I see happen a lot, especially in the media. Like, they're calling
Okay,
Patriots
dog.
Front now the
Here's
Proud
what
Boys,
here's a
which
fact I
think is
always
funny.
like to say is first of all, between out of the top 15 domestic terrorist groups, y'all, the right wing, is the top 14 of them. 15th place is the first instance of left wing domestic terrorism, and there are people
Really?
that do things like
So
fucking.
there's 14 groups.
Yes. The Boogaloo
right-wing
Boys.
terrorists?
Yes. And you just got paid to kick. Nomadic introvert. Thank you for the $40 to kick. It was a decent conversation, but we couldn't dig into anything because he was pivoting all day. I didn't have my fucking trainers on. I didn't have my knee pads on for that one, dude. WWW from Nomad. Thank you for the $40 to kick. For you to sit there and defend the innocence of people who are trying to overthrow a government, maybe start questioning where you're at. Maybe start questioning where you're at politically. All right. Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am, but I did not mean to come up.
Okay. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Yes,
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
I like his policies on immigration as well as several elements of the DOGE initiative.
Okay, I would love to talk about those. So, for immigration, do you think we should be sending people to the worst prison on earth almost without due process for coming here illegally?
No, no,
So you don't agree with his position on immigration?
not specifically that aspect, but I do think that if we're going to hold American citizens to the standard where we need to be registered, we need to register our cars annually. If you live in that state like New York, you
That's
have
not
to
even
go
what
through
Trump
all
is
these.
doing. Trump is trying to reverse 230,000 people's legal migration status just so he can deport them as well. So you still don't agree with Trump?
When I say I'm in support of it, I'm not in terms of the actual concept of should people be allowed to stay here. I'm not talking about if they're already legal migrants. If that's, I don't know if that's even true, but and it seems like I see on the left a lot of people actually want them to be here. In New York City, I mean, there's I don't know where you're from, but I'm from the New York region. There's the hotels spilling out with people. I have friends in NYPD saying that you can't even like walk 5 feet without just like in the subways. There's people all over the place.
All right.
Is that something that you want
Yeah,
you
let
want
me
that
ask you.
to happen, or
First of all, how many people are in this country? Do you know?
I would say about 350 million.
Okay, and how many migrants are here? Do you think, like illegal migrants?
I would say in the range of the high teens
Yeah,
millions.
it's about 13 million. That's like 1.5%, right? So you're going to tell me you can see, first of all, you can
That's
see when
more than
somebody's a not
1.5.
legal
That's
immigrant?
about 4%.
No, it's not.
That's 4%. Closer. 1%
Bro.
about would be 3.5 million. If it's
No, it would be
350
30
million, right?
million.
350 million, right? 1% would be 3.5.
Let's do some math.
No,
You might be right.
I'm an accountant, so
Nice.
if it's 100, 1% is 1 million. No,
1% would be, it'd be 3.5 million.
that's what I just said. So
Okay.
if it's 13,
Yeah.
it's closer to 4%.
Okay, so closer to 4%. So you're going to tell me that you can see, first of all, illegal immigrants. I don't know what they even look like. Second of all, you're going to tell me you can see a difference between what
There are
Trump
people in the
had.
Roosevelt Hotel in New York City that are just
So you saw one
living
hotel with
like
people
overtaking
in
in
there?
it. Is that not what the Roosevelt Hotel was used for, to house them?
Those are, first of all, those are legal. If we're paying anything for migrants to be here, those are asylum seekers. So those are all legal.
You know that? How do you know that though?
Because first of all, how would a non-citizen go about getting free hotel room without talking to the government?
Well, that's my question.
Yeah, it's
Why
not
is
a
it
complete
that? Why
thought,
is it
right?
that my friend that's an NYPD cop
They're asylum seekers.
investigating
Only
a
asylum
crime
seekers
that
get.
there's no papers.
Only
There's
asylum
no
seekers get
identification.
things like that, right? It makes no sense for you to think that they're magically getting hotel rooms.
I agree. It makes no sense, which is why I'm wondering why they're doing it.
Yeah, so it's not a thing.
But we could pivot from this migration. I want to get into the for DOGE. Do you agree that there should be better accounting records with the several government departments, but more specifically like the Pentagon?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a
there have
question.
been several times.
I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think a 19-year-old can do your job?
No.
Okay, then why do you think a bunch of 19-year-olds can do it for the government?
I don't think that's the claim. I think that they're.
That's what DOGE is. It's a bunch of kids.
I think that of intelligent, like 20-year-olds can at least see if someone's not doing their job
With
correctly.
no formal education?
Yeah. I think that if I didn't go to college and if I walked into an office and it was completely empty, I'd be able to see that no one's really doing anything.
Okay, that's not what's happening,
Or
right? Like we do you know what inspectors generals are?
not exactly, no.
Okay, those are the people who actually do auditing and make sure that there's no fraud or waste or abuse. Those are the people we already had in place. And when Trump came into office, he fired all of them and then hired DOGE to do what they did. And it, like USAID, for instance, they had 60 audits the year before they got caught. They were cut in weeks. Do you think that they can? Do you think no matter how big the firm that you can audit an entire arm of the government that is like $9 billion a year? Think you can do that in 2 weeks?
Not a complete audit, but
Yeah.
I think that you can do enough of a job to see if there's material variances
Okay.
in the accounting records.
And then
I mean,
and then do you think it's
would
worth
disagree
cutting
that
the
there's
entire?
inadequate?
Do you think cutting the entire branch or the entire program is the way to resolve that, or do you think like burning down the documents, telling them to take them all home, is the way they would substantiate the forensic auditing, or do you think that's antithetical to that?
I think it's one way to go about it in the sense that you can. Are you familiar with zero-based budgeting?
No.
So what that is that if you have a company or a organization, you can set up the budget in such a way where you act as though you're going to spend no money and you're only going to add in exactly the aspects of everything that you need. Many organizations do that, including like school districts and companies. What they're doing, I mean, the way that I see it is if you just remove the whole department and then over time slowly add back only the components that you need, which I think that there are things that we certainly need that have been removed but will be brought back on an as-needed basis. That's a lot more efficient to me than to go through and just remove the bad parts. If
Well,
more than half of it
what
is
about
bad.
every time you fire somebody, you get sued and you have to pay for an army of lawyers to do that? Because that's what's happening. And it's actually speculated that we're going to be paying more just to do the firings that he's done. In fact, we've had to play go away, come here, like they're in a middle school relationship with most of these people. Like the people he accidentally fired that were in charge of the nuclear program. I mean, need to go on, but here. Can you see the stream right now?
No, I'm not looking at it.
All right. Well, if you look at my stream
I
right
could
now,
turn it on if you'd like.
if you look at my stream right now, you'll see this thing called Musk Watch Doge Tracker. And what these people are doing is they're taking all of the receipt that Doge has on their savings wall, and they're adding up all of the items on that. And if you look at their claims, they've made $165 billion of savings. But if you look at their actual receipts and you add them up, it's only $69 billion. And then if you actually click into these things where we already do have transparency with most of the things with spending with the government, you can actually see each one of these items and whether or not they were actually going to be spent, or if they were just bids, or if they were already terminated, or if they were already paid. And if you go through all of those and look at the status of all of these payments, you will see that we've only saved $16 billion from Doge. So the fact that there's such a discrepancy already makes me think they're not actually doing forensic auditing. They're just doing political stuff, like cutting entire branches like USAID for political reasons, or something like that. They're not actually doing what you think they're doing. And I don't think there's any trust or transparency in that situation whatsoever.
You don't think that anything that USAID was doing was wasteful?
No, you would have to, like, maybe you have an opinion on some of the things that they cut and you agree with them cutting it, but that's not how our government works, right? Like, so if Congress appropriates money to go to Sesame Street in Iraq, then that's what they did. You can't just say, I disagree with that. We're not doing that this year.
Well, I mean, as elected representatives, I don't feel that that's something that is adequately representing my beliefs. That's
Well-
something that I don't. If you ask most Americans, I don't think that they would be happy knowing that that's where their tax money is going.
You know that we
But I
spent
understand
like
your
10
point. I
times
mean,
as
you guys
much
should
that
go
money
through.
for Trump to golf, his first administration. So I don't agree with that. I can't stop him from golfing.
Well, I think Biden did a fair share of golfing himself too.
He didn't do that.
He did not golf.
He might have golfed once or twice, but Trump actually spoke out
Right.
about how much golfing Obama did. He went golfing 80 times over the 8 years. Trump went over 160 times in 4.
Yeah, but how
And
many
he
of those
did it at his own
times
golf
is that his
courses.
own course?
Yeah, he did it at his own course so that he can pay his own course, our tax dollars to do it. So he made money.
Well, I mean, you're talking about like 80, 90, $100 to play golf.
No, we're talking
We're
about
talking about so you just said you acted like 16 billion is nothing.
No, I'm talking about it's actually like $200 million is what Trump spent his first administration golfing at his own golf courses. And he was upcharging Secret Service like $7 bottles of water or like up prices for the rooms they were staying at. He did that to make money. It's very obvious.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if that's true, then I guess it's not. That's not something I fully agree with. But when I was talking about the accounting side of things, I'm more talking about have you heard of these? What I heard about the Pentagon passing audits is that the last 7 audits they did not pass. They basically said that we can't confirm that these records are accurate to any extent. So all these numbers that we're looking at are not.
That is it. That is
Like, how do we
imagine
know
that
that they're real
being
numbers?
imagine that being the last thing. They haven't tried to audit anything like that, right? Like, do you think Trump's going to increase or decrease spending in the Pentagon? Because he's done nothing but increase it. He's added like 2.2 his last administration, $2.2 trillion. He's spending another $200 million to throw himself a birthday parade. Like, he's not doing that.
But how do you know? How do you actually know that number is accurate if they've never passed an audit? Those I don't know if I
that's the other
trust
thing.
any of those figures.
We can just like, again,
I mean,
a
they've
lot
had
of these
discrepancies
things
in
are
the trillions.
transparent. If we're looking at how much money we are paying a police station to give us all of their police units on a given day, we can actually see what that transaction is. We can see what the bids are. These are all things that are public record.
Yeah, but that's not what I believe is the case in the Pentagon or in the Federal Reserve. There's all these transactions don't have adequate information on them, according to what I've seen. I mean, I don't work in that field or in that space, but what I understand is that the accounting systems that are being used are extremely outdated and not.
Well, I don't think
don't carry much
they have no
detail.
intention on fixing that, right? Like, we haven't heard anything about that. And if you
No,
look
that's what's something that DOGE is, I think, actively working on.
like I said, why are they starting at USAID, which 3 million children will die this year because they cut that? Why did they start there and not the Pentagon?
But how many
which is like
children?
3 million.
3 million children.
Yeah.
Where,
Not just
and
children,
how do
just
you
people.
reckon that?
Because
And
I
based on what?
think that's based off of the HIV epidemic in South Africa. They stopped giving these people a certain drug that was funded by the U.S. And they even left some people who had implants in them. They're just left stuck with implants in them because we stopped funding the doctors that were doing that.
So are you saying that there's no other possible way for them to get the needed?
Well,
What country did you say this was in?
South Africa. I don't know what country. But remember when they were telling you $50 million went to
South
condoms
Africa
in
a country?
Gaza? Remember how
sorry?
they were telling you all $50 million went to condoms in Gaza? Yeah, that was Gaza and
Yeah.
South Africa, not actually Palestine. That was for contraception, not just condoms, but all
Again,
forms of
I mean,
contraception.
I wouldn't say that that's directly going to kill 3 million people. I mean, don't you see that as
It
kind
is
of a stretch?
actually that is the actual numbers. We just saw them interview Elon Musk about this, and Elon Musk goes, "Well, I'll rectify this. I'll undo this." And yes, they are doing that. It is in Africa. Yes, the
Well,
statistic
I mean,
is
that's
correct.
also something that is. Are there other countries that can, or can they purchase
Yeah,
these
I'm
things
sure China
themselves?
would
Or
love to swoop in and tell them how great China is, and for them to be China's friend and not ours. I'm sure that's great. Yeah.
what? I mean, how about the other 180 countries?
Yeah, or China,
Why can't they do it for themselves? To buy
because
50
they're
million
dealing
condoms.
with an AIDS epidemic.
Well, I mean, I don't see it the same. I don't think that me not paying for something is directly going to kill 3 million people.
It
I think that
sadly
there's
is.
many different avenues that this can be solved with, not the way that it's being done right now.
Listen,
I don't think that you can.
that's what's going to happen.
Have
That
you
is
how
what's
much
going to
money have
happen
you
if some
donated
other
to
country
that
doesn't
effort?
intervene. Yes.
How much money have you donated for that?
None. $0. I mean, unless you
No,
talk about my
why is that?
taxes, I'm sure like
Or
$1.
you want to kill 3 million people, don't you?
I bet $1 of my taxes last year went to that, and I don't mind that at all.
So then you can just replace that dollar, just separately donate it.
I guess so, but
But you
the
haven't done it.
350 million other people
So you
aren't
must not
going
care
to.
about it.
You know what? I feel
Well,
like
we
speaking out about it is more than
follow
most
you.
people are doing.
I mean, if you do it, I'll do it. How about that?
Sure. Do you want to do
I'll
50
match
bucks
you.
right now?
Sure.
You want to match it? You take a screenshot and show me?
But you kind of strayed away for a little bit from what I was talking about. I'm talking about like the large accounting discrepancies in the Pentagon's accounting records. What do you have to say? Like, don't you think that that's something that we should work on
Yeah,
correcting?
I do.
I
And
mean,
we
in
have
2000, I
inspectors
believe in
generals.
2001,
We have big
there
boy
was a,
inspectors generals doing that, not 19-year-old kids before Trump fired them.
well, clearly they're not doing. Whoever the inspector general isn't doing their job right. Because for the last 25 years, I don't think there's been any improvement to the systems. Why is it that any private company has way better accounting software and record keeping systems that they can't seem to figure out how to use?
I don't know. I
mean, you talk
Listen,
about the
I'm
Pentagon.
all for doing this, and I'm all for transparency and efficiency, but I don't think some 19-year-old whose nickname is like Big Balls is going to do it for us.
I mean, maybe that's something that we need is some of the younger generation to be participating in this to make technological.
I don't want some kids doing
advancement.
surgery on my government. I'm good.
It's not surgery. I mean, would you rather continue on the same way where they're writing off $2.3 trillion, or where they just say, hey, I don't know what happened to $2.3 trillion
I don't think that's a real
back
alternative.
That's what happened in I believe in 2000 or 2001.
Thank you, Kristen, for the $50 humanitarian aid to Africa potential match.
There you go.
There we go. I'll do it right now.
See,
you
but no one.
It?
Why doesn't anyone propose those things?
If you want to do it, Trump's a billionaire. I don't see him doing anything like that. In fact, he's been caught stealing from a cancer charity fund to buy a picture of himself.
What was that?
Trump's been caught stealing from a children's cancer charity fund in New York to buy a giant portrait of himself. I don't think he does very much for humanitarian causes.
I can't confirm that that's a real thing or not.
I
don't know if I believe
that. For you right now, if you want.
Let's see it.
It's why he can't hold a charity in New York.
I'm looking at your video.
Donald J. Trump pays court order $2 million for illegally using Trump Foundation funds. $1.8 million. New York.
I don't see anything on your screen.
Maybe it's just
Did
paused.
you
Maybe
mean
the
to
video
share
is
your
paused.
screen? No, you're not paused. You're moving.
It's on there.
Yeah, maybe my phone's lagging. Now here we go.
So it was 8 different charities. Trump was ordered to pay $2 million, $250,000. Those charities are Army Emergency Relief, Children's Aid Society, City Meals on Wheels, Give an Hour, Martha's Table, United Negro College Fund, and United Way of Capital Area, and the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. Additionally, Trump was forced to reimburse his namesake foundation $11,000 for sports paraphernalia and champagne purchased at a charity gala, which was added to $1.7 million already in the foundation's bank account. The combined 1.8 was split evenly and recently transferred to 8 agreed upon charities. Each charity ended up receiving $476,000.
All right, if that's true, then that's. I'm not defending every single thing the guy's done, but I don't know if there's much else. I mean, were there any other topics you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, I would say that people largely misunderstand the audits, failing an audit for the Pentagon, and how much nuance there is to that. There's a good interview done by one of the people who actually were in charge of those audits, and she talks about how there's so much abstract accounting, right? So like think of a tank just like you would depreciate a vehicle in a company. Instead of depreciating it because they don't write off depreciation of tanks, they just simply lose value. Think about a tank being valued at $0 that was purchased for $2 million. Like, you know how if you're an accountant, right? Like, you know how a company would depreciate a company vehicle.
Yeah, well, something can't lose book value without recording some sort of an expense for it.
Right,
that's not possible.
Right. But like, think about a tank either being blown up in war or being left and decommissioned at a war zone or something like that. How much tricky accounting there is to that. And then
I'm aware of these things. I mean, that would be an impairment loss on your assets. But
yeah, but like, think about how you wouldn't be able to, like, as the United States government, how does that look like on your taxes? Do you think the United States military files taxes?
I think that they have to file things. I don't believe that they
You see how it gets real blurry?
Well, it's not. See, these things are the standards for the government accounting and private, accounting on private companies and publicly traded companies.
But the military is a little different, right?
Yeah, but there's standards for all of it. That's my point, is that most private companies have to follow U.S. GAAP, like generally accepted accounting principles.
What if we did something that was completely top secret? Do you think they're going to that year notate an F-35 that was secretly blown up over the Middle East?
I'm not saying to list every single thing out one line at a time for everyone to see, but at least there should be, like, you could lump everything together, so at least you can see the expenditures accurately, you can see the revenues accurately. I don't believe that that's even happening right now. Is seeing, like, what, even in a broad use of the word, like,
what about things that are just
categorized expenditures? If it's classified, then don't make it a separate line item. Lump it together with something else, but at least that amount should be included somewhere. That's publicly available, so that you can't.
So if you put that amount, if you lumped it in there, and an accountant's trying to reconcile transactions, and they go, "What the fuck is this from?" and then they delete it, do you think that's a thing that happens?
Well, you can't really. If you're trying to reconcile something, you can't just remove a transaction from it. That's not how it works. You would need to have some degree of trust with your accountants, just like how a private company would trust their accountants not to disclose confidential information. That's a normal thing. You don't think that the military can have accountants that don't disclose secret projects? I mean, how many people are trusted with this information, that walk around among us every day and don't tell everyone about it because that's their oath to the military and to the government?
I'm just illustrating the picture to you where obviously we don't know how all this stuff works, but I can see how the Pentagon doesn't pass audits. I can see how that works. What are all the people in the
when I
barracks
say
that
they don't pass audits, there's one thing to say like, okay, you're not like there was like a misclassification of an account somewhere, or when I say what I'm complaining about is that they're just saying we just lost trillions of dollars. Like we have no idea where, like we thought we had it and then it's not there. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I still see nobody trying to reconcile this, but they're reconciling things that immediately save lives. And that's my grievance, okay? Like this is the military. If you can see my screen, this green thing is the military spending each year, and everything else is not the military. And they started fucking scrutinizing things. I don't even know where we would find USAID. International affairs, this tiny slither, it's like probably either the second or the third smallest slither on this pie chart. That's where they started, and they took a chainsaw to it. Yet the big green part, the military, they haven't cut anything. They've added to it, in fact. I just think it's kind of weird. That's why I think it's political. It doesn't add up.
You must
I
have
think
like a
Elon
30-second delay on this video, right?
probably, if you're tuned in, if you're tuned into my stream and on the phone, it might be doing that.
Okay.
Do you see it now?
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not commenting on what the money should be spent on, or you know, I don't disagree with that chart, but I'm simply saying we should have if a third or half of my money is going to be taken for taxes, right? I feel like everyone has the right to some degree see what it's being spent on, and if they're not,
well, you're looking at it right
passing an
now.
audit.
If your biggest grievance isn't the military, then that's on you. On average, a $56,000
No, I don't
salary.
care. I'm not even commenting on what it's used for. I'm saying that pie chart, I don't know if that's accurate or not.
This is from the U.S. federal budget in 2023.
No, I'm sure it's from a credible source. I'm saying I don't think they even know where the money went. That's my point.
I think
if they don't
generally
have
this
accurate,
illustrates pretty accurately where the money's going. And what I'm saying is, for your
yeah, but
grievances
if
to be
they
with
don't pass an audit, how
USAID,
would you know that?
I'm
That's my
sorry?
main point. If they can't pass an audit, how do you know?
I can
Like,
only
where
imagine
does your
it's more than this. I can only imagine that the green is bigger than this if we can't pass an audit. Surely, there's no way they're spending less than they're claiming.
I mean, I'm not. Again, my grievance is not with the pie chart right here. I just don't believe that these numbers are correct.
All right, my grievance is that I want grown adults doing it. I want inspector generals to do it. People with uniforms, people who have life experience, people who can be trusted in the internet, not some kid from Reddit or 4chan that goes by big balls.
I guess I can agree with that, but you at least agree that someone should be doing it, and the people that have been doing it for the last 20 years have failed.
They
Can
haven't
we get
failed.
common
Like
ground?
USAID was audited 60 times. Can you name one thing that they found in USAID that was fraud? No.
I would almost say that Sesame Street thing is fraud.
It's not fraud. That was a known thing. It was public information that we did that. And it's called soft power, right? Instead of letting a whole generation of kids grow up not knowing their ABCs or to treat their neighbors nice, they grow up to be radicalized, maybe T group that we have to spend trillions of dollars fighting for 20 years. It's much cheaper. It's much, much cheaper spending $20 million for them to learn their ABCs.
All right. I mean, if that's how you see it, but what would you define fraud as?
Say, I don't know, Trump receiving a $400 million plane from the
I'm not looking
Saudi
for an
Arabia,
example.
and
And
then
that was that was a gift to the country.
it's going to be his private plane after he serves.
I believe Clinton also got a helicopter,
That was fake.
which is, what was that?
If you just Googled a fact check, that's not real.
Oh, that's not real?
No.
I mean, how can you fault someone for receiving a gift from someone?
Because it's open corruption. So now I'm sure we're going to be doing something positive for Saudi Arabia. Maybe that's not in our nation's best interest, and Trump will tell you it is.
Well, when I asked for the definition, like, I mean, you could say you don't know, but what would you define fraud as? I'm not looking for an example.
So using the arm of the government to personally make money, that would be fraud. Maybe using your position of power to make personal money. Maybe using a meme coin to make 40% of your wealth since January, where people can just like anonymously gift you tons of money.
That isn't fraud. And so fraud is a basic definition of fraud is deception to get a financial gain. So you can't call him receiving a plane fraud. You can't call a meme coin. I wouldn't call it fraud because he's not deceiving anyone. We all know that it's a meme.
Well, I know that. Well, I can say that Trump being president, receiving a plane is not going to be for free. He's going to use the power of the presidency to give them something back that they want. Do you think that we as a country give $400 million gifts to world leaders?
You can call it a bribe. Like I wouldn't fault you to call it a bribe. You can't call it. You didn't commit fraud.
Okay, sure. A bribe. A bribe. Or I don't know, Trump doing 34 felonies that were literally fraud, considered fraud.
Weren't those all, he was acquitted of all those?
No, he is a felon.
I mean, I'm not super familiar with
I'm very familiar with all of his legal stuff.
Can you provide some of the details to me? Because I really don't. I don't know
during the 2016 election, Stormy Daniels, it almost came out that he paid her for sexual favors, and instead of pulling money out of his bank account and personally paying Stormy Daniels to hush money, he pulled it out of his campaign finance and gave a check to Michael Cohen, labeled it legal fees because Michael Cohen was a lawyer, and Michael Cohen turned around and gave Stormy Daniels, I think it was 6 checks that amounted to the same exact dollar amounts, and then Michael Cohen also produced like a scratch piece of paper where he did this math on the day of on letterhead from Trump's campaign. It was all traceable. It was all very much.
So you're saying it was like an embezzlement?
It was campaign finance fraud. Yeah.
And what is that? One of the 34?
Yes, they were 12 counts multiplied by 3, most of them. Convicted by jury.
If that's something that you want to hold against him, I understand that. I personally just think that that's not the worst thing. Like I don't think that. I think there's a lot of people that do a lot worse than that.
Yeah, I know, but Trump is on record like I just pulled up his thing where he's telling Law and Order to come back to New York, which is where he was charged for all this stuff, right? This is a letter that he wrote in the 80s, where he's like, we need Law and Order back. And he's like, but besides me, not me, everybody does what I do.
What do you have to say about like the people that went to Epstein's Island, like Bill Clinton, like 50 times or whatever?
Do you know who has more pictures with Epstein than anybody else?
No, I'm sure Trump took pictures with him, but I mean, is that something that's worth looking into? Do you think that is worse than like misallocating a
Trump should release the files. Trump should do it.
Or do you think that like insider trading is bad in Congress?
Yeah, but both parties do it, and the whole thing about Nancy Pelosi is silly because if you look at this thing called unusualwhales.com, you'll see that Nancy Pelosi is like halfway down the list, and it's peppered with both sides pretty much equally. Both
Yeah,
sides
I'm not
make
picking
money in the
sides here.
stock
I'm just
market.
saying that there's a lot of people that do
I
a
think
lot
that's
worse than that.
far less
That's my
harmful
point.
than Trump manipulating the market with tariffs and making his friends billions of dollars at the behest of Americans losing their businesses or their
No one lost their business.
financial well-being.
That I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, well,
That was
Trump's
a
tariffs, putting them up, taking them down, and then openly saying now buy or now sell on his. I forgot which one it was. Now would be a good time to buy, and then he took the tariffs off, and the stock price surged.
Did you buy? Did you get in at a good price?
No, and the majority of America didn't.
Oh, I did fine. When it comes to tariffs, I could actually comment on this. I work in the private sector, and we have companies that we purchase items from that are international and are domestic. When the tariffs came in, I'm specifically talking about a Canadian company. They were going to tack on the tariffs onto the invoices. They let us know, which I understand. And you know what we did? We just said, all right, we're going to go with the American. There's basically two competing companies, one in America, one in Canada. We just said, all right, we'll just only buy from the American one now. And that's what we did.
Yeah, but
Do you think that, I mean, do you think that there's an issue with that?
Yeah, first of all, if Trump doesn't want transparency, it's completely antithetical to this whole, auditing thing that he's doing with DOGE. But second of all, it just shows open corruption, and there's no actual logic to these tariffs. If we're not even competing with China or any of these other countries in all of these industries yet, how long are we going to be paying tariffs before competing business erects in the United States?
Well, I don't agree with
things.
Well, I don't fully agree with tariffing like every single thing. I think that there's benefits to trading like with other countries, but I think it should be done in a more of a selective way, like things that we already have infrastructure set up in America for. If it's like Colombian coffee, I think that we should just not tariff Colombian coffee because they're just better than us at making it. But
I also say we have 7 million open jobs, 4.2% unemployment. Who's going to work all these jobs for all these industries? We're not dying for jobs. And for Trump to try to force us to make things like plastic gadgets and bullshit, shoes, stuff, we're not interested in that. I want to make microchips. I want to make EVs. I want to make things that we can actually sell to other countries. We're not going to be able to compete with China in all of these different things. Just like you said, it makes no sense for us to have tariffs on every single little thing, which is what Trump is doing. Trump is taking a bazooka to a small target, and it's going to hurt the U.S.
I don't
economy.
personally think that that's what I know that that's technically what he's doing, but I think that it's part of a bigger plan to use as a bargaining chip in the future.
Still, he's even said no matter what deals we strike with these other countries, the base 10% will never go away. And it's going to be used for him collecting taxes to pay for his rich friends to get huge tax breaks.
Well, I think 10% is a pretty reasonable and standard tariff. I mean, hasn't China always charged us 10%?
No.
They didn't always. You're saying there existed no tariff on American goods in China?
Like, think of all things, right? All things like cars, shoes, clothes, glasses, batteries, all these things. Like, there's probably like a couple million different types of things. And then China had like a 12% on auto, like a 3% on like chicken, like things like that. And then Trump goes around and does 150% on all things. It's not the same.
I don't think that was ever meant to be a permanent solution.
Okay,
I think that was part of a negotiation.
Now we're at 30. He was at 20% on all things. Still, it's insane. 20% was
but we never
was.
bought a lot of things from. I mean, like we never imported Chinese cars.
Do you know how fucking awesome their cars are? We can't buy their
Awesome.
cars at all.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to.
Their cars are like, would you like to have a fully electric $13,000 car that's like twice as advanced as a Tesla? Because that's what they are.
I'm personally I'm a muscle car guy myself.
Me too, but wouldn't you think a lot of people would like a $13,000 Tesla 2.0?
I'm sure they would, but I mean, I don't think that we should be buying certain things from China. Weren't there issues with Homeland Security or like being like recording devices found in certain Chinese goods?
I don't know about all that.
I haven't looked into it entirely, but I've heard that there were some attempts at like gathering intelligence through like certain products that they put like bugs into, basically.
I never.
You're saying that there's the car that's more advanced than a Tesla for 13 grand,
Yeah, it's called a BYD.
and has the same power as a Tesla,
Yeah, more.
the same 0 to 60 time.
Yeah, faster probably, and they also have better
You
like
can't.
independent
It's physically
suspension.
impossible. It's arguably like almost impossible to get a faster 0 to 60 time than like 1.9 seconds in a production car.
I don't even think that like the $13,000 car is not performance.
Yeah,
And neither is Tesla's. Their base package is not performance based.
I know, but it's still pretty well performing car. My friend's got one, the
Yeah,
base model Model 3.
They're super great electric cars. They bunny hop.
I'm sorry.
They can literally jump off the ground. Their suspension is so advanced that you won't even feel it if you were to go over like alternating speed bumps.
No, I'm sure they're great cars, but I don't think that we should be. I think that would cause more harm than good to import them. I think that the tariffs have. I mean, Honda has moved. I believe their factory for the next generation of Civic was going to be in Mexico, and they moved it to, I believe, North Carolina.
Yeah, I heard about
Which
that.
that's going to be
We
millions
also
of
have multiple
cars.
dealerships leaving. Subaru and a few others.
Subaru.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean the dealerships are leaving?
Yep. No, the manufacturers.
I didn't hear about that.
All right, this is the last point I'll make with the tariffs. All right, so think about China's minimum wage. It's lower, right?
Yeah, vastly lower.
Think about their real estate. It's probably cheaper than our real estate here, right?
Yeah.
So if we were to make if we were to copy a factory, square inch by square inch, did the exact same processes the factory in China did, and we were to compete with them and make something and tried to sell it to the rest of the world, who would make it cheaper, China or us?
China.
Okay, then what the fuck are we doing?
No, I'm not talking about like little like gadgets and gizmos and shit. I'm talking about like kind of what you said, like chips, computer products, advanced
Exactly.
technology.
So none of this is going to bring back jobs. None of this is going to do anything like that. This is for Trump to get things like $400 million planes from Saudi Arabia, or for them to come kiss the ring. This is not for us to do any better. If fucking China's stopped tariffing their people the 13% on auto, would you feel it? No. Is it worth you paying 10, 20% tariffs on things that you buy from China? No. Well, you have no personal interest in this getting better. The trade deals are not going to hurt you. Trump is telling you this is the thing. This is going to be great for you. This is a way for Trump to collect taxes. That's it.
Well, here's what I will say about that. Yes, China can make it cheaper, but you're also neglecting to recognize not only humanitarian issues with that, but also environmental. I think that we can make it. Yeah, it'll be more expensive, but I think it'll be made with better standards. Because now, if it's made in America,
Trump
we have to follow.
Trump has no plans in following environmental laws. He's tweeted himself that if you have $1 billion and you want to bring business to US, he will cut all red tape, including environmental, for you to come do whatever you want. He has rolled
Yeah,
back
but
more.
even with the reduced amount, it's still going to be more. I mean, China's just spewing
He's rolled
shit
back
into
more
the
laws from
atmosphere.
the EPA and consumer protection laws than you can think of trying to bolster the economy or trying to make business deals with these other countries. And
I
Made in
still,
America
even
doesn't
with
mean
that said,
better.
I still think it would. Do you think that it would still be better than China, even with its things rolled back? Or do you
I
think
don't know.
they
He
would
pulled
still
us out
be
of the
more environmentally friendly
Paris
than us?
Climate Accord. He pulled us out of that too. I don't know. I would contend that no. I think Trump is trying to go as wild as he can with fracking and with drilling offshore, and like it's completely antithetical to what you think. And also, the more we do business with China, the less and less we see them committing those labor law atrocities, or like, you know, like child labor is less and less prevalent. The more they trade with the rest of the world, the less they're doing that. So if you want that to go away, we can just continue trading with them and it'll go
You
away.
should keep buying it so that they make so much money that they can just not do that anymore. That's your point.
There's a reason Trump is going nuts, thinking that they're a existential, like a threat to United States being world superpower, and it's because they are in a trajectory to be ahead of us. And we can either fuck up our GDP and shrink our economy trying to fight it, or we can try to do things to bolster ourselves here without hurting ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's trying to do.
He's
Promote
going. He's
industry.
set
I
to.
mean,
We are looking at a recession. We're looking at a recession here soon because of what Trump is doing with tariffs.
well, we've been in a recession
No,
in
we
the
haven't.
last couple of years. Not by the new definition of the word.
A recession just means multiple quarters of reduced GDP.
I know, and that I believe that happened under Biden. But I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the definition of the term was changed so that we were not in a recession.
We saw it from the worldwide pandemic, yeah, but not because of things Biden did. This is Trump doing executive orders.
I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. I'm saying we've already.
Okay, well, Trump is literally doing things by executive orders, meaning the guy who paints his face orange is making decisions that are swaying the tide of the economy himself, not Congress, not like a collection of people making these sound decisions. This is Trump doing it by himself.
And the 80 million people that voted for him that knew what he was going to do. Is that a collective decision?
No one knew what he was going to do. None of this was written down.
I mean, I watched him say these things for years. That what his plan was, and he's doing
everybody
exactly what he
was
said.
shocked and in awe in October when he came out and said that he was going to start tariffing Mexico and Canada because he made a deal with Mexico and Canada that was supposed to last 16 years, and he went back on it. No one knew what he was going to do. The word tariff is once in Project 2040, I'm sorry, 2025, or Agenda 47. It was mentioned once, and that's it. It doesn't say who, by how much. If we have to watch all of his speeches to figure out what he's going to do, I don't think that makes sense at all either. He didn't say a dollar amount or a percentage that he was going to do. He didn't say who he was going to target besides China. None of the stuff.
Well, yeah,
there.
part of that is because I don't think that he even knew what was going to be the final
I would argue that's
settlement.
dangerous that he's doing this on a flying by the seat of his pants.
Well, that's how certain decisions have to be made. I mean, in business, you don't always know what the result's going to be.
Well, I feel like we should at least listen to economists who do projections and say, hey, if economists say this is going to lead to stagflation, maybe we shouldn't do it.
Well, I had a pleasure speaking to you, but I actually have to go now. So,
all right, man.
Thank you for your time.
You take it easy. Thanks for being cool.
All right. See ya.
Chat, tap the screen. If you enjoyed these debates, give me a follow. Let's get to 200K. Decent debates. Decent debates today. Decent debates. We've been on for 2.5 hours, guys. How much longer we got until I take a tiny break? Another shout out to Kristen. Thank you for the $50 for the humanitarian aid match. Kristen, are you in the comments? Do you want me to go ahead and do that right now? What's a good one we can do? Hold on. Where was guests? Don't know. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. Africa can do like AIDS. Charity? Civil charities, the American Foundation for Children with AIDS. I like that. Let's do the one for children. American Foundation for Children with AIDS. Let's do it. One time. Oof, you guys are hurt. $300. I'll do $100. Chat, if you guys want me to donate anything right now, send it and I'll add it to it real quick. I'm gonna hide my name though. Or just do it yourself, guys. Can I join your Trump supporter? One sec, guys. One sec. Guys, just stay chilling for just a second while I do this. Don't you go nowhere. We're donating to kids in Africa. I'm gonna pull this money out of my account. Negative balance, add money to resolve. Love that. Love that. It's my PayPal, guys. Don't worry. It's just my PayPal. GPay. Boom. Continue. Can I send $10 to add? Tay. All right, I've already done it. I've already done it. All right, this doesn't have my name on it. There. Here you goes, guys. I did $106. My comment was love. The America Foundation for Children with AIDS. GG's chat, GG's. All right. Let's go to the next caller. Yellow, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes,
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
I love everything about Trump. His values are perfect.
Yeah? Can you
Yeah.
tell me more about that?
Well, this thing with the immigrants in America, I think that it is good that he is taking them out because America is overpopulated.
That's not true. We're in population decline.
Actually, no, it's overpopulated.
Why do you say we're
Wait,
overpopulated?
I had to do something really quick, actually.
Yes, Daddy Putin? Yes. Okay. 20
Yes,
rubles?
anyway, I love Trump because he got with a Slovakian queen, Melania. She's gorgeous, you know. And also, Trump, He is just so amazing. I would marry him if he wasn't
Yeah,
married
what are
to
the things you would do to that vagina he has on his neck? What would you do to that?
I'd kiss it and lick it
Ooh.
and suck it, you know?
Okay.
I would be like,
That hurt my ears, guys.
Hello. Can you hear me? I love Trump because I think that he's a better president than Kamala. Hello? Russian? I am not Russian, baby. I am Ukrainian.
Oh my
I am
god.
not Russian.
You're Ukrainian and you like Trump.
What? Yes.
How do you like that he's not sending you guys aid anymore?
Well, we don't need his aid because. Oh my God.
Hello?
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Of course, yes, man, I am.
Okay, what
All
do you like
right.
about Trump?
So, first off, I'll start off with the grocery situation. He is going to lower our groceries. I know he is perfect because I know that's my president, okay? But he's going to lower our egg prices, okay? So, I live in Illinois where groceries are typically higher. Yes, I am transgender and a MAGA, okay? Y'all can say I'm trolling. I'm not trolling
Hey,
y'all, I
that's
swear.
fine. That's fine.
hmm Um, I think a lot of people discriminate me for being trans and a MAGA. Like, I just think that Trump overall would be a better president than Miss Kamala Harris.
Okay, we're supposed to be like you got to say how. Like first of all,
Oh, okay. Well,
can you tell me what do you think tariffs are going to do to your grocery prices? Do you think they're going to go up or down?
I'm definitely down
Why do you think a tariff is going to decrease your grocery price?
because that's what he wants for America.
I know that's what he says he wants. What do you think? A tariff is a tax, right? It's an added tax.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I'm actually 21 years old. Um, so I haven't gone to college. I'm actually a dropout.
It's all right. Me too.
But he's gonna. I'm not a fake account, y'all. I'm sorry. These comments are genuinely just like getting to me. I'm not fake. I swear I am. I swear I'm real. I am a. But what's it called? I think that like people are saying I voted against myself, but Trump. I know he does support the LGBTQ community.
You didn't
Okay.
even say that right.
What? I said LGBTQ community.
Yeah, that's not the way we say it.
LGBTQ.
LGBTQ.
LGBTQ. Well, let me tell you something about Trump, because because I don't know why you're hating on him, okay? Because Trump is a good president. You just don't want to admit it, okay? Now let me tell you something. Fuck, daddy, I'm about to come. I'm ready to be a single.
What is going on? Yellow?
Sorry, Pickles. I hit request by accident.
It's okay. Love you.
Love you too.
I was warned. I did not, guys. I'm not going to discriminate. What am I like, guys? Hello?
Oh, sorry. I wanted to get in when that person was in because I was like, F you. You are a 60-year-old grandma smoking 3 packs a day with no teeth. You are not a trans woman. That was pissing me off. That was so clearly not cool. If you can't even say LGBTQ, we know that off the top of our head. We can say that 18 drinks in.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I know that it's hard for you to say that because you're not part of the group. So it can look badly on you, but I was like, I'm part of the crew. I can call that out. Anyways, get on with calling them out. Drop me.
Got you. $18 drinks in, yeah. All right. I think we've got a few friendlies real quick, and then we'll get on to debates only. Hello? Hello? Am I... Test. Were they speaking? They weren't speaking, were they? Okay. Chat, can we rate my new glasses 1 out of 10? Hello?
No.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right. What do you like about Trump?
Hello? What the hell is going on?
What the hell, chat? The hell? Karina says 6. Somebody block Karina. We got Brightside with 3, block. Wu-Tang 6, Rigid 4, block. 2 on the glasses. It gives fun Dahmer vibes. We're gonna give a 5-minute ban on that one, guys. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon. How are you today?
Doing good. You're not a Trump supporter, are you?
No, I'm not. I just wanted to check in with you and make sure you're okay. How are you?
I'm doing the best I can.
Okay, well, I appreciate you, and I just want you to know you're doing good.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Glasses are a 10, by the way.
Fuck yeah. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. We don't like the orange color. I get that, but it lures in, you know, like this mosquito lights that like zap mosquitoes. I think it lures in the MAGA. All right, we're gonna turn the phone line back on, guys. Phone line's back on. I like these because these are smaller. Holy shit. Yellow, is this a Trump supporter? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
How old are you?
That doesn't matter.
Bro, you're fucking fetus. Hello? Is this a Trump supporter?
Hello?
Are you a Trump
Hello?
supporter? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
Honestly, I just like the fact that I just want a leader that the rest of the world isn't afraid of. Like, I mean, I want a leader that they are afraid of. They're not just gonna walk all over us. And I feel like we have that with Trump. We have someone that's actually gonna let everybody know that we are the power of the world, and that, like, especially for like tariffs and stuff, we've been paying tariffs and we've been paying taxes like on our goods. So I think it's only fair that we make it fair for the other countries, and they have to pay an equal tax or lower our tax that they have on our stuff. So
It's
it's
not how
only
tariffs.
equal.
It's not how tariffs work. So like,
But we've been paying for tariffs though, so it's not like they actually lowered the tariff that we've been currently paying.
all right,
So I don't see how it could be a bad thing.
let me ask you this. So if Europe had a 12% tariff on cars, they have a 12% tariff on cars. Does that mean we pay taxes to Europe?
If they have a tariff
Yeah.
on American-made cars,
Yeah.
no. Why would we pay? If they're importing the cars, why would we pay taxes?
Okay, exactly. So what do you think is fair about that? Like if Europe wants to charge their own citizens 12%, I don't feel like that's ripping us off, is it?
No, we don't pay the tariff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
China
when Trump puts
can be
tariffs up,
responsible for paying tariffs.
when
But if
Trump
we're
puts
paying tariff,
when Trump puts a tariff up, who pays that tariff?
whatever, like the company or the, I mean, I know they say it's gonna end up coming down to us because the company has to pay for it, so that means they're gonna end up losing profit. So then it's gonna end up increasing the price of the products we're gonna have to pay.
So, yeah, importers, right? So the consumers pay those tariffs.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of examples, and like especially for like cars, manufacturing, and electronics, Trump has tried to work so that we don't have to see that, because otherwise our iPhones would be stupid expensive.
Yeah, so either tariffs work or they don't. So tariffs are supposed to incentivize us from buying domestic. So either they're going to increase prices to where we buy domestic, or they don't. And what you're saying is if he just raises tariffs and we don't see them, we're just going to continue to buy from other countries and continue on the path we're on?
No, I'm saying if the tariff is raised and we have to see the change and we have to see a price change, then yeah, it's only going to make sense that we're going to buy American-made products, which I feel like is just only his long-term goal. He's only raising the tariff so that people can see this. We're not going to want to pay for, things that should be way more expensive than they normally are. So yeah, we're just going to end up paying for
And
American-made
why
products.
is he telling Walmart to lower their prices when they're raising them to meet the tariffs?
You said telling Walmart to do what?
He's telling Walmart to stop raising their prices, even though the tariffs are making them raise their prices.
I don't know. I don't shop at Walmart, so I have no idea. But I do.
Most of America does, though, right?
I mean, I don't know. I have personal friends, and we in the circle that I'm in, people don't like going to Walmart because it just seems depressing, and it just seems like not fun.
They're one of the most
shopping experience.
They're one of the biggest companies in the United States, so of course people shop there.
Yeah, and I can understand that. But that doesn't mean. I mean, there's other alternatives. You don't have to shop at just Walmart. You can shop other places.
The thing is, a lot of our goods come from China. I would say like more than half of the goods at Walmart come from China. Even some of the groceries, even some of the produce. So if it's not just Walmart, it's Target and every other retailer that is trying to sell you something. They get their stuff from China. Those things are going to go up.
Yeah, I understand, but they haven't gone up yet. So,
well, why is Trump tweeting at them? Because they are.
I mean, he's tweeting this, but have we seen any changes yet? No. So what's the issue?
We are. We're going to see empty shelves in about a week.
Sorry, you said what?
We're gonna start seeing empty shelves in about a week, is what Walmart's claiming. Walmart, Target, all these big retailers, they're gonna have empty shelves because it takes weeks for ships to get over here from China. And if people stopped ordering things weeks ago because of Trump's tariffs, we're gonna see empty shelves here in about a week.
Okay, but empty shelves, we don't order everything from China though. So
we order a lot though.
Yeah, but we don't order everything.
Say over half,
we still
I would say.
Goods. I mean, we still have all of our vegetables. We have everything that we grow here. I mean,
We still have vegetables
we
we get
don't.
from China.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's not going to be like in substantial amounts of where people are going to go like hungry or starve. It's not
Yeah,
going to be
I know,
anything
but
like that.
prices are going to go up, right? Remember, like when Trump was saying prices are going to go down, grocery prices go down day one. Instead, he's putting on a tax to make all of our grocery prices go up. That's the opposite of what he promised, right?
And you're saying what? This is from the tariffs is for why
Of
the
course, yes. They're
groceries will go up.
designed to make prices go up. So yeah, of course.
But is that not necessarily on? That's not really on. That's on these corporations, because the corporation should be responsible for paying the tariffs. It shouldn't be the American people.
Dude, the average profit margin for like a thing in retail is like 10-20%. When you put a 20% tariff on something, how is that even possible?
All I know is we've been having, like, our government has been paying tariffs. So
Our
it only
government
makes
does
sense.
not pay tariffs.
China has had tariffs on America.
Okay,
We've
and when
already
China puts a tariff on America, that means that Chinese consumers pay the tariffs, not our government.
So then why would we put a tariff on China if it's only going to hurt the American people? Does that even
That's
make
what
any
I'm
sense?
trying to figure out. That's what I'm saying, dude.
But that's not what he's doing. That's not the purpose for it. The purpose for it, I believe, is for to raise the consumerism here in America to buy American products, and then two, also so that it encourages people, or like all these other corporations or whatever, to produce their products here in America.
But
Therefore,
we don't even compete with China in some of these things. Like, we don't make plastic gadgets. We don't do anything like that. So like between now and the time we like eventually build a factory to make those gadgets, we're gonna just be paying those higher prices to China, and we're just gonna cross our fingers that someone is gonna erect a factory and somehow make it cheaper than the price of buying it from China plus the tariff. I still don't think it's like, even if we get 100% tariff on some of these things we buy from China, it wouldn't make sense for us to try to make them here.
yeah, but I don't think at first I don't even think we need to be making small plastic
Then why is Trump tariffing those things?
things. Like I'm saying, I think it's only to support American-made, American businesses.
But
so
why?
that
Then how is
they
that
thrive.
even? Then make it make sense. What? You say that you don't think we need to have American businesses making those things, and then you say the tariffs are here to support American-made businesses. It doesn't make sense. This is going to make businesses
Yeah,
go out of business. Like medium,
I don't-
small businesses are going to go out of business entirely if this is what Trump is trying to do. Which it seems like that's what he's trying to do. I think he's maybe just trying to cause a recession. I don't know.
I don't understand why would he try to purposely cause, like, that's what I'm saying.
Because rich people do very well when the economy crashes.
Well, yeah. But see, my whole thing is to get on here and to talk about, against Trump, and regardless what side you pick, you understand at the end of the day, if there's a war or anything like that, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican, it doesn't matter what you are. Like, you're still gonna have to face the same circumstances as every other individual, especially if you're not wealthy.
This seems pretty insane to me. Like, all the things Trump is doing are like incredibly insane, outrageous, outside of the norm. We try to tell you guys every day about it, but we get called TDS, all that stuff. I don't think Kamala would be doing like 30% tariffs on China or 150% tariffs on China. She wouldn't be accepting $400 million planes from Saudi Arabia. She wouldn't be manipulating the stock market. She wouldn't be firing everybody in the federal government.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like you guys see the stuff that's on the news, and then you guys stress out because whatever it is that you're dealing with. Like, when I look at your stream, bro, like when I even see these people, the same people that I see talking about, I hate Trump or whatever, like debate me, you guys are like carbon copies of each other. You guys all look like the same incels that don't have a healthy, like, personal life. So then you get on here and you just debate people because you're unhappy individuals. And I mean, that's fine, but that's not going to help how you feel inside. That's not going to change anything.
Yeah, I'm not doing this for therapy. I'm doing this to like try to maybe deconstruct some of your thoughts that obviously seem a little incomplete at this point.
See that, but that's my thing. If it's to deconstruct a thought, then why wouldn't you put more time into actually trying to build a following, and then why don't you try to make a change in the world? Like, why don't you actually try to do something like positive rather than just like, because you're not going to really
I
change.
just donated $100 to like an AIDS charity in Africa, and I've
Yeah, and
grown this channel to be. I have over I have 1,000 viewers right now on TikTok, and I've done this in less than a year. For you to tell me that I should be doing something better than what I'm currently doing, I don't know. It feels kind of rough. Feels kind of crazy.
No, I mean, hey, bro, by all means. But I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I say because you're the one that has to be okay in your own skin. And if you think that at some point, you know, when you're a fucking 50, 45-year-old man, you're gonna think about the time when you're on YouTube talking to people trying to debate, understanding that you're really not going to change anybody's mind on here, especially if they're older than you. It's most likely not going to change their mindset. So why wouldn't you just spend your time trying to make the world a better place? Because at the end of the day, bro, I know you understand. I mean, if you try to come off as intelligent as you're, presenting yourself to be, then at the end of the day, you would understand that this what's going on, and the fact that you're debating people is only the system winning, and you guys not understanding that that's the whole intent. The whole intent is to divide the people. It doesn't really matter about what
I'm not here to
Democrat
divide
or
anybody.
Republican does.
I'm legit doing this because I
You're
do get people in my inbox saying, "Hey, Pickles, I changed my mind after talking to you. After watching you for 3 weeks, I changed my mind." For that's why I do it. I don't do this to make y'all feel stupid, and it's even more reinforcement to hear someone like you tell me how uncomfortable it is for you to watch me do something like this. That's why I continue to do it.
No, see, that's the thing, and that's you prove my point right there. I'm not uncomfortable by anything that you're doing, and you're not getting any type of like emotional response out of me. I when I see you, I feel sorry. I feel sorry for you. It doesn't make me feel any type of way. I see the hurt in you, and it seems like it's the same thing for all like liberals, and it seems like you guys are hurt individuals, and I understand that. And the world is a fucked up place, but it's not because of Trump. The world's a fucked up place.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what makes you think like I'm hurt. I would say I'm not okay with like the landscape of our like political landscape right now. But if you want to see hurt people, you can just go to my YouTube comments and see all the people doing personal attacks. Those people are hurt. Personal attacks towards me. Those are the hurt people. If you want to find them, that's where you can find them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think those are hurt people as well. But I just don't think Trump's the issue. Trump's not the issue in America. It's the mindset of the individuals that are here. It has nothing to do with the people running the country. Because you got to understand, like, those people, regardless if they're Democrats or Republican, like, if shit pops off, they're going to be on the same plane with each other. They're going to be in the same, like, locations with each other. They're going to be in the same bunkers.
Listen,
like,
ultimately what you're saying is for me to just lay down and roll over and take it. And that's not what I'm going to do?
No,
I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to
saying.
keep doing what I'm doing.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what you are doing is good. But I'm saying why try to put it on something that it's not? Why try to make it
Trump is an objectively bad president, and I can illustrate that all day.
So what are you going to do when Trump isn't the president and then there's somebody else in office? Who are you going to get on here and debate?
It's probably going to go back to what I was doing before Trump was president, my everyday life.
See, so that contradicts everything then. So you're saying when Trump's in office, then you're a good person, you want to help the country, but as soon as a Democrat gets back in office, then you're just going to go back to living your regular life? See, and that literally shows the issues in your guys' way of thinking.
I think it's very obvious.
Problem right there.
You should speak out when somebody bad gets into power, and I mean, like, in any time in history, in any country on earth, when there was a bad person elected to president, people got up and spoke up, and what you're doing is condemning that for some reason. I don't think that's a good point.
Bro, I literally heard you say Hunter Biden's laptop. So you know that this former president's son had like super bad images of things that nobody should see. So you're well aware of that. But then you still stand behind the party.
I didn't vote for
Hunter Biden. I know, but then you say those things like Hunter Biden's laptop on there to intentionally infuriate people. So then they call you. So all you're doing is rage baiting. That's all you're doing.
I'm
You're
not
just
rage
feeding off
baiting.
the hate. Yeah, you're
I
just
was
feeding
saying
off
things
the
for the
hate.
algorithm to get people like you who thinks there's substance behind Hunter Biden's laptop. That's exactly what it was intended to do. Yeah.
You don't think there's any? So you just think the fact that he's like on
Can you
camera
tell me?
smoking,
Can you tell me an indictment that
literally
happened?
literally smoking out of a crack pipe. He's literally smoking a fucking
Yeah,
crack pipe.
I think
The
people
videos
should stop doing. People should not do drugs. Sure, but like that. Besides that, is that really something that affected our politics?
Okay, yes, 100%. So you're telling me that you would vote for somebody whose child is a crackhead?
I would.
What kind
I
of
would,
father?
I
What
would
kind
debate.
of father are you that you have a child that's
I would debate.
a crackhead?
I would debate that Trump's son, Trump Jr., Don Jr., he definitely does the white substance.
Okay. Well, cocaine and crack are two.
They're literally the same thing.
mean-
One's just cooked.
Yeah, they're actually not the same thing. There's a whole bunch of different chemical components to make crack cocaine.
You're literally
other than
wrong.
cocaine.
You're literally wrong. That someone just paid to
What do
kick
you
you.
cook?
They're the same thing. Someone just paid to kick you. I'm sorry. Sorry. Baking soda's the difference. Thank you, Shawnee. Thank you. Kelly, thank you for the $40. W. Kelly in chat. Love you so much. Thank you. Taylor, I'm going to be 1,000% honest. I might not be able to make another donation today for that $10 to the Africa thing. Guys, I have a best friend who struggled with shrugs his whole life. His parents are like the best people in the world. His parents are like just the best, kindest, best parents probably too in the whole world. It has nothing to do with his parents. Nothing to do with it.
What's up, Pickles?
What's up, dudes?
Hey, sorry, I was a little late to the party today, so I was just curious. Did you mention the Memorial Day message from
I
our
did-
leader today?
I did.
You did? Okay. I was a little late to your live today, so I wasn't sure. I wanted to ask you about it because, good God Almighty, someone had put up an Obama one from when he was president, and the contrast is just
Love that.
It's
startling.
It's every message too, right? Every message you contrast the two, and
Right.
it's
It was beyond startling. So I was just curious about that. You can drop me. I
right.
wanted to ask you about that.
All right, much love.
Have a good day, brother.
You too. What's up, Fuzz?
Dude, you have had a day of crash outs and crazy. I've been on and off. Listen, I've worked today, but man, the first few people, the crash outs, they calling in crashed out already. That was nuts. You have had a day, and you deserve every penny you've earned today. And the glasses, I'm torn. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, Fuzzard.
I like the green ones. The ones I'm not sure. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta figure it out. I don't know. Maybe.
Cootery likes him, so we're good.
You're dolphin.
I'm gonna do one more friendly, and then we're gonna move on to more debates, guys. More debates. We're slowly hemorrhaging views, so I'm gonna do one more. What's up, Dolphin?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up something. Yeah, I'm recovering from that same wrong as Hunter Biden. 12 years,
Oh,
Jan
wow.
6. My yay day was before it was a day. All right. And I'm sorry, but yes, baking soda is the difference.
Yeah.
That is it.
That's it.
Yeah, I've not the rocks, but I was the other.
Yeah, you went
Oh,
skiing. You went skiing.
Right, I went skiing, and yeah, it's the same stuff. Just one is a little cheaper to buy. So
One's cut a little
All
bit.
right. Well, look, I just wanted to cut because that makes me angrier than anything. When they, that's different. No, it ain't.
yeah, it's the same thing, but it's literally called Rock CC.
Well, I call it Hard Rock Cafe. to
Yeah.
try to explain it on here.
There you go. But all right, Pickles. I'll let you go.
All right.
Enjoy.
Love both y'all.
I'll try and fall in love with the glasses.
All right. Try harder.
All right.
Oh.
And I'll talk to you in DMs in a little bit.
Okay, yeah, my DMs once again are not freaking working. I don't know what's going on. My main does this constantly with my DMs.
I just got restricted. No, I just got restricted for shrugs.
Did you really?
No. Chat, follow the stream.
I
Damn
thought
it.
we were doing good with that. Okay.
We said right words.
I thought. But anyways, sorry about that.
It's all good.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All
It
right.
was my fault. I blame myself. All right, I'm gonna hop off too. I just wanted to come up and clarify. I don't like it, and I don't like it when they blame the parents. My
Yep.
dad was a great person. My mom, now I wasn't with her because divorce and all that, but still, it's not the parents. So yeah. Oh yeah. Gus said the name, so maybe that's why you got flagged.
Possibly. Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Possibly.
All right, I'm gonna hop off. You're losing. You're hemorrhaging viewers. Get them. Oh, and you know what? One of these days, you're gonna show me them buttermilk biscuits. I love when I can make you laugh, bro.
Love you,
And I do
Dolphin.
like the glasses.
Thank you.
All right, pop me down. Let me know before you do it, and I'll give you a wee.
All right. Let's go.
Wee.
All right. I'm going to turn the Google voice number on right now, guys. The Google voice number is back on. I know you guys are trying to call it, so there it is.
Number on right now, guys.
Yellow, is this a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
I hear my stream in the background. Do you mind turning it down?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you over 18?
What?
Are you over 18?
No.
You can't pay. I mean, I'm sorry. You can't be on the live if you're not 18, okay? I'm sorry. All right. Cindy, thank you so much for the $20. Green glasses are more picklish. Love you and everything you stand for. Thank you. If this is the same caller. Hello?
Hello?
Is this the same caller I talked to?
Sorry, what?
Is this the same caller I talked to earlier?
I don't believe so. I haven't talked to you before.
Oh, okay. Are you a Trump supporter?
No, I don't really support either party, but I just want the best for the country.
So do you like what Trump's doing?
I do think that I don't know. I think people have the wrong intention of the guy. I don't think he's necessarily doing the wrong thing for the country, because it seems like he's trying to actually make change and help out financially in the deficit, but
He's exploded the deficit more than any president in recent history.
well, I see it on the thing, and even you said it yourself, which I was kind of surprised about, because you said like 16 billion, saving 16 billion isn't a big deal.
It's not. Do you know what how much tax revenue we get every year?
Would you like to tell me?
It's like 4.9 trillion was last year.
And that was what?
That's how much tax revenue we get.
Right.
So saving
you're
us 16
saying,
billion while cutting entire departments, like he's cutting departments like the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, which literally saves us money, right? So like for every dollar we spend there, they saved us $4 as consumers, as Americans. So that was like something that saved us money. He cut that so that businesses can rip people off more. He cut USAID, which was only $9 billion a year. That was now worth like 3 million kids or 3 million people will die somewhere in Africa because of that. That is the actual estimated number. These are the last places I would find cuts. Like our yearly military budget is like $1 trillion, but he's cutting things that directly fuck us over.
I mean, don't you think that we need a lot of money for our military defense?
Listen,
in times
I
like
think
this.
we could definitely roll it back a little bit. We're already #1, and it's not even close. I think we're
I
doing
know, but
just fine.
But wouldn't you correlate the fact that us spending so much money on our military, and then in return us being the #1 military power in the world, doesn't that kind of make
Yeah, like
sense?
we could cut it in half and we'd still be #1.
Yeah, but these are numbers based. Do you know how much a fucking bomber is? Like, do you know the prices of the shit?
I mean, not off the top
No.
of my head, but
Exactly.
What-
And then you see when they go in front of Congress, and then they're charging like $900 for a fucking bag of screws that you get from Home Depot for like fucking $5. So
Okay,
I
then
mean,
I
that's
would
probably
suggest
where a
us
lot of
doing
it's going.
audits there, right? So like we could audit the military industrial complex instead of just
Yeah,
handing
but
them more
isn't-
money all the time.
Exactly. And hasn't the Pentagon failed all their audits? So
Yeah, and Trump's not auditing them, right? In fact, he fired all the people who do those audits.
yeah, because doesn't that make sense to fire the people doing audits if they can't successfully do an audit on a government?
Yeah, like
Literally.
they were successfully doing audits, but like the Pentagon was failing the audits.
Right. So I see that, to me, it appears that, well, if you get rid of the people that are probably fucking up the system, and then you go back and try to redo it, you'll probably have a lot more success, and then you'll
They
be
were
able to
just
weed out the
checking
people.
everyone's work, and they were the ones saying, "Hey, you failed the audit." They weren't the ones doing the practices of the Pentagon.
No shit. That doesn't
Yeah,
make
so
any.
it
Why
makes
would
no sense
that
for you
doesn't
to
make
fire the
any
people checking everyone's work.
That's what I'm saying. You already have one thing in your brain. You're not having a conversation. You're just literally, you already know what you're gonna say before I even speak. Because otherwise you wouldn't have said what you said. 'Cause you didn't even respond to what I said.
You got me.
All I'm saying is, yeah, if you start from, it's like a house where you just let the house burn down and then build it back up. It just seems like common sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Trump is taking a chainsaw to the government instead of like looking through things carefully, and he's
Why?
doing
So
the most
those
damage
people can,
that he could possibly do.
those people.
Hello?
Why? Hello?
I think he's doing more damage than good, right? Like we're spending even more money on just an army of lawyers to justify his insane cuts, and they have nothing to do with like the biggest part of the budget where you already admit, we fail auditing, right? He's not auditing the military. So why like none of this makes any sense. In fact, he's just giving them more money. He's giving them bags of cash.
And try it again. I guarantee you'll have different results. You seem like a smart man. That seems like common sense.
I think you cut out there. Say it again. There you are.
Sorry. I was saying, you seem like a smart man. That seems like that's the only way to fix this country is the people and honestly, I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna be on both sides. It's gonna be people on the left and people on the right that are, I don't think they have the best intentions for the everyday U.S. citizen. I think they worked their way into power. They corrupted the system. That's why you have people like, and I even heard you say, Nancy Pelosi. There's other Republicans and there's other Democrats that probably do way better than her in the stock market.
We haven't seen any like fraud or anything, right? We haven't seen any fraud, waste, or anything like that from DOGE yet.
Any fraud?
Yeah, can you name me a thing of fraud that DOGE found?
this is my thing. See, I get it. I get it. I get that you want and that you are needing of like certain things. Like you guys need to be informed. You guys need to feel as if you're informed and
Transparency.
you have all the information and everything like that. But it's like you guys don't work in the government, so I guarantee those things are working themselves out. The information that you guys are getting is it's slow.
We're not. Yeah, we don't accept. Trust me, bro. When Trump cuts entire branches of the government, we don't accept that, especially in the name of transparency. I think it's complete bullshit.
And see, this is my whole thing. This is where I think you guys get too caught up on. Like, what are you really gonna do about it?
We're gonna vote the other direction.
Yeah, but look, how did that go? You guys were all up in arms. You guys were all doing this. You have people literally drinking fucking like food dye and shit like that. Like you guys do all these crazy antics to show that you're so much against Trump. Why didn't you guys all come together and just do something good for the country? Like there's so many Democrats. Why
I don't know.
why don't you
listen? You guys threw a fit for 4 whole years when Biden got elected. I feel like I'm keeping my composure just fine.
No one threw a fit. That was the thing. No one threw a fit.
You guys stormed the Capitol.
We were up. Okay. I mean, yeah, that did happen. But that's only a select few individuals. That's only a select few like humans. Like you can't judge a whole party based off a few humans. It doesn't make any sense.
Is this the same? You said we haven't talked before. Are you sure we haven't talked before?
No, I've never talked to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about food dye either. I don't know. Like you said, we were drinking food dye. Are you talking about Kool-Aid?
No, there was like this. I've seen it on the thing, but there was these two people. It was like to protest Trump. They were drinking these bottles of food dye, and like that shit has hella.
Do you remember? Do you remember when you guys were taking ivermectin, a anti-parasitic?
Ivermectin?
Yeah.
Parasitic for what?
It was an anti-parasitic.
For what? Because I never took that. So what are you talking about?
My mom did. She's MAGA.
And what did she take it for?
For the cocoa.
For the cocoa?
Yeah, COVID.
Oh, you're on this whole. Is that whole thing that was with Joe Rogan and shit like that? Everything making the skin yellow and shit like that. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about, yes, people taking like.
Oh my god.
Anti-parasitic medicine.
At some point, my guy, you're gonna have to start thinking for yourself. Like, how old are you?
36.
You're not 36.
Yeah, I am.
You're 36?
Yeah.
Well, then that makes sense. You try to get on here and act as if like you're a young libertarian when you're not. You're just an old, like, bro. You're almost 40 years old, and your wife let you get on here and just randomly debate people.
What do you mean she lets me?
Like, you don't want to go spend time with your wife? Like, you don't want to just.
She has a job.
She has a job.
Yeah.
And she just lets you stay at home and debate people.
Yeah. What are you talking about, dude?
See, my whole thing is, bro, what I'm saying is you just seem as if you're not really trying to make a change. You're just trying to argue with people.
I don't know, man. I'm not sitting here trying to do like clip farming, making you look stupid or doing gotchas. I'm legitimately trying to talk and deconstruct some of these weird talking points that some of y'all have, and the weird Kool-Aid that some of y'all have drank to think Trump is the sayer of truth, when I can just literally pull up the tweet from today where Trump calls everybody on the left radical people and tells us all to go to hell. and then says that 21 million migrants were let into the country, which is a provable lie, and just try to ask you to justify it. And hopefully somebody standing in the benches in the cheap seats will see how silly you guys are and how level-headed I might look and make a decision to turn away from this. That's why I do this.
So you're saying the solution is to get a president that is questionably a fucking pedophile, his son, who
I don't know what
was
you're talking
doing
about.
all that shit.
That
Exactly.
that's-
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I
That's your
literally
guys'
have
main
Trump on tape talking about how sexy his daughter is multiple times. He says, "What do you have? What's one thing you have in common with your daughter?" He says sex, and then she says real estate and golf. Or when Trump says that he walks into women's changing rooms because he owns the place when he's talking about his pageants, and then he has multiple people come out in 1997, like Miss Teen USA, saying he did that exact thing. Or when Trump says that he grabs one by the pussy, he doesn't even have to ask because he's rich, and then he comes out and somebody accuses him of sexually assaulting her and that doing that exact thing. And then you have what from Biden, him giving people hugs, and then you clip it and say he's sniffing girls.
No, bro. What do you mean clipping? There's literally videos of him sniffing little kids. There's literally
or just giving
videos of
them
him
hugs.
talking about he's going to the pool and letting the kids fucking rub his leg hair down and watching it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Okay.
And then you have his son who's like legit possibly could be a pedophile.
I don't. Those are just strays. There's literally nothing accusing him of doing that. You guys
What do you
really
mean?
just go down the
He
avenue.
had a whole laptop that.
Yeah, I know,
they
and none
need-
of that has
the
anything to
person,
do with P3DOs. No one is
Okay,
accusing
okay.
him of doing that.
So then why, then the person that unlocked his laptop, why would he feel the need to turn it over to the authorities? What did he see on there?
I don't know, but you know the
Yeah,
chain of custody for that laptop is insane, right? Rudy Giuliani, Matt Gaetz, like Matt Gaetz himself is a P3DO. Like I don't know what you're going through. We have Rudy Giuliani on camera on Borat 2, literally trying to get SEX favors from a girl that was under the age of 18. Like literally on camera. Those are the guys that handed over the laptop?
Okay, but do you see? I'm not defending them.
Yeah,
they're gonna
here
do what they're gonna
telling
do.
me my party is guilty by proxy to the proximity of who might be doing these things, who are not even elected officials, by the way. Your guy literally was listed in the Epstein files by a 13-year-old doing these things. But God forbid, Biden talks about some kid at the pool rubbing the hair on his leg.
Bro, the Clintons, they've all been to the pedophile island. Everybody's been to that island. I don't think there's anybody that's safe.
And
from
I
being
will
on the
never
island.
vote for the Clintons ever again.
It doesn't matter if you vote. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you vote for the Clintons. It's a fucking political party that they're under.
The whole political party is guilty by association. We would have nobody left to vote for if the whole political party is guilty by association because Trump is best friends with Epstein.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I'm saying. So then, therefore, how is the whole Republican Party bad if Trump's been there?
You're the one started slinging mud. That's why I'm calling what you're saying is outrageous.
No, I know, because when you started the conversation, I said I'm not against. I mean, I don't really think either of them can make the change. But I'm saying, how can that be the change when you have similar atrocities on both sides?
I don't know what you're saying. If both sides are guilty, where are we going with this?
All I'm saying is that both sides are doing something. So you have all this corruption on one side, you have all this corruption on the other side. So how the fuck could the issue of the country be
I
on
think
one
like
person?
ours is like a 1 out of 10, and Trump himself is like a 13 out of 10.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You guys, all of your guys' like statements, it seems as if it's emotion fueled because you just said 1 out of 10, but then you, in order to prove a point, you go 13 out of 10. Therefore,
Okay, you're telling me
this
not
is
to
what I'm
vote
saying,
Democrat
all
because
emotion filled.
you're telling me not to vote Democrat because of Clinton,
I'm
who
not
is
telling you-
multiple
I'm not
presidents.
telling you-
Hold on, multiple presidents ago, Clinton was president. Back in the 90s,
Yes.
Trump is president today, who is an adjudicated sexual abuser, who was in the Epstein files, who has been on Epstein's plane several times. You're telling me to look at my party and that somebody rubbed Biden's leg on hair on his leg. You
Bro,
voted this
you're-
guy in
that's
last
just
year.
That's just Bill Clinton. You act like as if Hillary Clinton hasn't been trying to.
Okay,
be
you're
the
gonna have to prove that
president,
one.
and she hasn't been trying.
You're gonna have to prove that one. No one's proved
What do you mean
that, right?
the fucking WikiLeaks? The
Yeah,
WikiLeaks
you're
are
gonna have
literally
to prove.
talking
You're
about.
gonna have to prove that Pizzagate, WikiLeaks, all
What do you
this
mean?
adrenochrome.
There's literally thing. There's literally. What do you mean? I don't
Mhm.
have to prove adrenochrome, bro.
Yeah,
You
of
can
course you
literally
do.
go and watch.
Of
You can
course you
literally
do.
go watch movies.
Okay,
There's
Trump
adrenochrome
has
everywhere.
multiple indictments. Do we believe those?
Multiple indictments.
Yeah.
What do you mean? All these felonies?
Yeah,
that you're talking about?
like 88 felony charges. Do you believe all of those to be
And
true?
it's all based on what?
On like thousands of pages of evidence.
On money, right? It's all just money related. Like that's the only thing they could get them on.
No,
is taxes,
RICO
back
charges.
taxes.
We've got withholding classified documents. We've got trying to steal the election by putting fake slates of electors in 7 swing states. We've got it all, buddy.
See, and this is what I'm saying. It's not anybody. It's not one. It shouldn't be like a portion of the society against another portion of the society. At the end of the day, regardless of who's president, you have to live within the same borders as me. So it doesn't. We're not at odds with.
I said, I'm not here to
you guys
sing
are, you guys
kumbaya
are,
with you when you're president.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You guys lack a level of IQ that you guys aren't able to. You guys. So as I could say I'm a Republican, but I could see and I could talk to you and I could have a communication with you and I could try to actually come to a conclusion with you. But on the other hand, Democrats and liberals, you guys are all emotion based. So like all the thing like kumbayas and stuff like that, and like when I'm saying we could just come together as a country.
Mike
That's what I'm saying. There's no like
$9.99.
there's no coming to any type
Just
of
remember
agreement.
this
There's
caller
not any
votes
type
and
of agreement that you guys
reproduces.
want. You guys only want Democrat.
Thank you
And
for
if
that
it's not
super chat.
Democrat, then you guys are just mad at the rest of the.
All right, caller, I've had you for 20 minutes. Everyone in chat thinks you're the same person from earlier. Everyone in chat thinks you're the same person
Everybody thinks I'm the same person.
as someone earlier. Yes.
What, you talked to somebody today that sound like me?
Yeah.
Really? I'm trying to tell you, I'm not the same person. I've never talked to you. I just seen your thing on today. But I do understand that you have other people, and all I'm trying to say is that there could be, if we all just come together, it could be a lot better. We don't have to choose a side.
Hey, my access just got suspended. I'll have to go.
I'm the same person as yesterday.
Oh my god. All right, YouTube.